The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
I don't know if I like golf, but I do like getting drunk and looking for things. It's mostly what golf is.
So what do I do? Just aim for the pond?
No, you're not supposed to hit it into the water.
But you hit it into the water.
I know I hit it into the water.
Well, why do they even have water if you're not supposed to hit it there?
Because it's fun! We're having fun! Ah!
Look, it went further than your ball.
Look who's up, sleepyhead.
It's too early.
It's showtime!
Yeah. Well, that sounds really bad. Not surprised. Not surprised, but this microphone sounds like dog feces. God help us, for better or for worse, the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show has returned from a week away from effing radio. It was a beautiful thing to take some time away, but it's always nice to be back with our wonderful listening audience. We do love sitting here effing off with our listeners from 5:40 to 9 a.m. every weekday. Hopefully some of you are still there and you want to go back to effing off with us like we used to. Here's something folks might enjoy. Josh suddenly sounds like he spent his week off smoking filterless cigarettes.
What happened?
Well, and what happens when I get sick is I de-age about 13 years as far as my delivery goes. Yeah, I got, it wouldn't be a vacation if someone didn't get sick.
Mm-hmm. Seems to always happen, doesn't it?
So I was
You
miserable.
have had a bad year.
I know. And I was telling Nick, I did two things over vacation. I left the house maybe 2 times. Dude. And it wasn't last night I got sick. Last night we were all at Randy Shaver's Gala. It was a lot of fun. Very emotional. I had an emotional week, and it kind of capped off last night. And
you didn't sound like this last night.
No, it got worse.
I walk in the friggin' room. I walk in the room, and I thought, well, Cubby looks well rested. He looks, healthy and ready to, get back to work. And then he says, "Hey, how's it going?" Good morning.
It's actually better than earlier.
Hey, man, good to see you. It's me, Cubby.
Do you want to step outside and have a heater?
You sound like you've been rolling your own for a couple of months. I'm sorry, dude, that you're sick.
Yeah, I wish it would go Basie,
Yeah.
Instead of Michael J. Foxy.
You've had a bad year.
Yeah,
you keep running into bad luck with your health.
It's bad luck because maybe I need to go out more, and eat more
Build
germs.
up your immune.
Drink more spit in the air or something.
Just go ahead and sit in a classroom for a day.
Well, I got a kid that goes.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening to you is your kid is passing on some germs.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Listen to him. Sounds like ass. Guy, you want to come back to work feeling good, and here's Josh over there.
I do my best to be responsible with the hand washing.
Yes.
And, being real safe with that kind of stuff.
And like you said, you never leave the house.
No.
I
had to reintroduce myself to my truck.
Your pickup truck?
Yeah, it's like, what's going on? Who are you?
It hadn't seen your little carcass in days.
No.
Even since COVID, your hygiene's gotten extremely good because you used to never wash your hands, I thought, after going to the bathroom, and now you do all the time.
Just number ones.
Okay.
Rarely. See, it kind of depends on what my penis had been doing. Like, if it had been busy in one way or another, I would wash my hands.
Got it.
But if my penis was at rest and it had kind of a boring week or something, I didn't feel the need to wash my hands.
You know what might be interesting is maybe by the end of this week, we're all going to sound like Josh.
I hope not. That was my fear. I'm like, I can't call in sick. I got to come in.
I don't know. I think by the end of the week, we're all going to be sick.
I was telling Nick yesterday that I made a lot of poor choices. I didn't watch a lot of TV, but the TV I watched was all so depressing.
Oh, yeah, dude.
What a hell of a deal. So he's sick. Now Josh is sick. And the entire week off, you were telling me this last night, your entire week off, you did your best just to sink yourself into a deep, deep depression.
Yeah, it wasn't on
by
purpose.
the television programming that you chose to watch.
Yeah, last night or yesterday, I watched the behind the music on Wolfgang Van Halen. It's Paramount Plus. They've got some of the behind the musics and stuff. It destroyed me. I mean, it absolutely destroyed me. I got choked up to the point where, my wife and I were, I'm not trying to gross somebody out, but we're cuddling.
Oh,
and
you're kidding me.
My chest is heaving. She's like consoling me, and it was just this. There's so much between him and Eddie Van Halen, his father. Just their relationship, how much they loved each other. Just, they're able to work together. All the crap that people gave Wolfgang Van Halen, saying, you're not talented. You play with backing tracks. You're just in the band because you're dad.
You're just Eddie's kid.
Yeah, it was terrible how he was treated. And he has a mic drop moment at Taylor Hawkins, the tribute concert they had for him in London, right? And he gets up there and he plays some Van Halen, and he nailed it. And he said that was he almost didn't do it. He was so nervous about it, obviously, because he thought this could destroy me. If I sound bad, it's just going to prove everybody right. And it wasn't the case. My dad died of cancer. Eddie Van Halen obviously dies of cancer. And so it was, I don't know, it's emotional. I was not expecting to watch Behind the Music and almost bawl 4 times.
But that wasn't even close to the end of it. Now, first off, I didn't even know they still made Behind the Music. I loved that show.
I found out just by looking for something to watch.
25, what year is it now? 2024, late 90s. That show was massive on VH1. I loved watching damn near each, except I'll never forget, you guys, well, some of you are maybe too young to have gotten crazy about Behind the Music on VH1 in the late 90s because they covered everybody. And a lot of them were great. Hall & Oates, Rat, Journey had a great Behind the Music in the late 90s on VH1. I'm trying to think of the others that I really, really liked.
One of the new ones is, I guess I'm not sure how new it is, relatively new. Huey Lewis, I didn't get a chance to watch that yet.
I remember, I thought maybe they made one of those back in the day as well. But anyway, here's where...
Looks like Huey Lewis was, they redid it and was released 2021.
But they made one back in the day, too. Huey Lewis, one of the greatest ever. Anyway, when I hit a wall for Behind the Music in the late 90s, maybe at this point it had creeped into the early 2000s. I would sit around watching VH1 all day long, Wilson Phillips videos and garbage like that, right? Just waiting for the promo for what band will be covered on the next episode of Behind the Music. I hit a wall and I stopped watching when they said, hey, coming up this Sunday, Behind the Music on the Goo Goo Dolls. And I remember throwing the remote control, like, why are they doing about, who gives 2 pumps about the Goo Goo Dolls?
All the controversy.
Yeah, man. Obviously, they ran out of material, which can happen. So I didn't know Behind the Music was still the thing. You found, like you said, Wolfgang Van Halen, but then you said there was all kinds of other dark, depressing programming that you chose to watch while we were on vacation.
Yeah, so the only other things I really watched is there's a show called Hacks on HBO, which I really like.
I do too.
That one, that's emotional. But I started watching, and I know these are a few years old, but we had time off. So I watched Dark Side of Comedy, I think it's called.
Oh gosh.
Dude. You guys watch some of those?
Yes.
I haven't watched those, but I absolutely love everything that they put out on Dark Side of the Ring. So it's the same producers and writers.
Okay, it makes sense. Cause I haven't. My wife watched all of Dark Side of the Ring.
I enjoyed the living hell out of Dark Side of the Ring. I haven't seen one in a few years, but I went through all of them a few years ago. I know that they went into Dark Side of the 80s, Dark Side of the
90s, now they're doing Side of the 2000s.
So what comedians did you watch their Dark Side of the episode?
Well, Chris Farley.
Oh, that one destroyed me.
Oh. Yeah, that one got me a little bit.
Oh, I bet.
Something bad happened there?
Yeah, you should watch it.
Okay.
Robin Williams.
Oh, no, that would ruin
I made some poor choices.
Yeah, what the heck, Josh?
I mean, these are horrible stories.
I know. I was looking through the comedians that I loved, right?
Did they cover the Goo Goo Dolls?
They did not. No, they're not comedians.
Oh.
I mean, some people might think
I always laugh my ass off.
Their career's kind of funny.
Yeah, I always chuckled at the Goo Goo
Their
Dolls.
success might be humorous to some.
Right.
And this one wasn't as sad. It was in its own way, just because of how he wanted to be portrayed versus how he was. Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, sure.
So those are the 3 I watched.
Man, Are you just naturally becoming more emotional as you get older? Kind of like Robert De Niro's character in Analyze This?
You know, it's funny you say that. I was talking to a buddy. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But, I mean, I've mentioned this before. Certain commercials will get me. Anytime it's like, and you've seen it a million times, the mom or dad comes back from being deployed, surprises the kids, their reaction. Yeah. You know, it's usually kind of some of that family stuff.
You're a friggin' mess.
I know. I don't know what's going on. It just started in the last year or so.
I'm worried about you.
And I'm fine. I just made some bad TV choices. There's no real show we're into right now. So I watched 4 things, and 2 definitely destroyed me, and the other 2 came close.
Hey, everyone get into the living room, Josh is hollering to the family. I'm going to watch a show about some folks dying real young. Get in here. You guys want to watch somebody die young? Get your ass in here. I got some popcorn.
Yeah, did you already watch all the depressing stuff and said, all right, I need to uplift my mood. Let's watch Dark Side of Comedy.
Yeah, that wasn't right. You might think there's some comedy involved, and there was.
Those are very entertaining.
You got to put an upper in there somewhere, Josh.
I never watched shows like that, but I watched it, and I was telling Nick last night too. Like Chris Farley, if he was alive, I wish I could just reach out and say, you are loved. We love you. You're one of the best, because he just never felt it.
He always thought maybe he was just he was not looked at in the same light as other comics.
Yeah.
He had no self-esteem and all. That Dark Side of the Ring program was great.
Gosh, yes.
I can't remember a minute of it now because it was a few years ago when I really got into it. I know that they still pump out fresh episodes. I haven't.
Oh yeah, they just did one on Sandman, Buff Bagwell.
You see, I don't have that channel anymore. I don't have that.
You do. You have Hulu. Your wife was telling you last night.
Oh, but
I don't know.
What was the regular channel it was on?
Vice.
Yeah, I don't have that anymore. And I forget about these other little routes you can take. Okay, Hulu. I got to figure out.
That's where I watched mine.
Sandman, you said, Wapple?
Yeah, the Sandman.
Oh yeah, yep. I had some fun with him one night. Who else have they been covering? You said?
Sensational Sherry. Yeah. I don't know why I went with that one.
Sherry Martel?
Yep.
Okay.
Brutus Beefcake. Harley Race.
Harley Race?
Yep.
Some of those streaming services are becoming
Buff
like
Bagwell.
Buff Bagwell.
I'll pass on the Buff Bagwell episode.
Earthquake, okay.
Yeah.
The streaming services are kind of becoming like YouTube, where they'll say, hey, buddy, I saw you watched a couple of these. Maybe you'd like to watch this. And I'm thinking, yes, I would like to watch that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that does interest me.
Sometimes I think those algorithms know me better than my friends and family do.
There was, I wish I could remember the exact example. But there's a thought I had the other day, and it showed up on YouTube. I'm not even exaggerating. Now, I'm not suggesting that it could read my thoughts, but it was pretty creepy that showed up. Because I'd never seen it on YouTube. It's just something I was thinking about. Maybe I said it out loud.
That's kind of eerie.
And my phone heard it. I thought they've tapped into my brain. Uh-oh.
Did I ever tell you the story about when I went out drinking with some wrestlers, and we went to Old Chicago, and Sandman... If you're not following, he was a big ECW guy. ECW. He didn't die, did he?
No, he's still around.
Josh, you didn't see a documentary on his death, did you?
No, but if they make one, I'll watch it.
He used to swing a kendo stick and raise all different levels of hell. And
he'd be bleeding before the match even started.
He came into town for a show, and I was lucky enough to go out drinking with the wrestlers after the show was over, and he got thrown out of Old Chicago. We were laughing our asses off. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know what the hell he got pissed at somebody. Next thing you know, Sandman's getting thrown out onto the sidewalk out front of Old Chicago.
I feel like it wouldn't be a wrestling, like hanging out with a wrestler story if someone doesn't get kicked out or someone doesn't go through a table or something.
Last time I hung out with the wrestler, he was attacked by a bat. Ari Davari.
Oh, no.
A baseball bat?
No, like a flying bat.
Jesus Christ.
So crazy.
I thought if it was a baseball bat, I thought, well, it probably was Sting.
Yeah.
But it was a flying...
Yeah, a flying...
rodent, right?
Yeah, went after him.
Didn't he shriek?
No, Josh did.
No, I didn't shriek. I don't mind. But he had a... Well, I don't want to say. His reaction was maybe more embarrassing than mine was. We'll put it that way.
That would make me feel good.
And I didn't mention, so, I guess we briefly touched it, but last night at Randy Shaver's Gala for his fundraiser, big fundraiser, it's the biggest of his year. He's got his golf event today, so we'll be on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But that was very emotional as well last night. So I thought, I turned to my wife, I'm like, this just isn't working for me. This week, it's not right.
They know how to get the waterworks going at that shaver fundraiser.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Sometimes
good.
it's good to cry.
I felt better that there was other people doing it too. It wasn't just me. And then Dana had to leave, or we tried to make room for Dana. Dana took off. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to you.
Yeah,
How long were you there? Like
I looked
10 minutes?
No, we were there for about 45 minutes, an hour, but we didn't have seat assignments, so we kind of felt like out of place, and I didn't want to go up to him and be like, "Hey, I'm the least important person here, and I'm going to make a big deal about needing a place to sit and eat dinner."
Well, not to make you feel more awkward, but Randy mentioned you on stage.
Yeah.
And people are looking over at our table, and there's no Dana. I'm not. By the way, that is true. I'm not making that up.
He thanked every one of us.
Yeah.
That was super cool that he did that.
That
But
was
you
nice.
weren't. It wasn't that big of a deal. He should mention us way more often than he does.
And you will notice it was at the very end. I mean, truthfully, it was all the way at the end.
Somebody had to
Everyone
cue
was.
him. Yeah, everyone's already over the speech. All right, this is going kind of long.
Yeah, but he's mentioned everybody, and there's like, and Dana. And everyone's like, whoa, where's Dana?
If you're kind enough to be listening right now and you're sending us a text message, we apologize, but our text machine has taken a massive dump this morning. We can't seem to be texting back and forth with anybody. So if you're sending us messages right now, we apologize. We can't get back to you. So we'll try to do it later. I don't know what the hell's going on around here.
Maybe a nude photo would help.
Oh, Christ.
Send a nude or two.
Yeah, like a legit one.
Yeah.
But this is how it plays out. Whenever we take time off, we come back, everything's sideways. I mean, to me right now, the microphones sound like garbage. Our text machine's not working.
The
It's nothing.
computer wasn't working earlier.
Yeah, it happened. This is the way it happens every time.
It wouldn't be a vacation without something breaking when we're gone.
Yeah, somehow you think, well, hey, we're on vacation. Maybe they'll get to the things that we've asked them to fix and kind of tweak for us. No, we get back and it's somehow worse than it was before.
It's a hell of a deal. So, Josh, sorry you've had such a depressing and now sickening week.
Well, the sick thing, that's my fault for leaving the house once. And also, I made some bad choices with TV.
Speaking of illnesses, and later on this morning, I think Dr. P. Jesus is going to he's going to wander his way in here.
You'll be in studio.
Dr. James Parnell, Dr. P. Jesus will be here. Speaking of illnesses, everybody I know right now outside of this building has, it's not called scurvy. What the hell is that? Shingles.
Oh, really?
That sucks. I heard that's really painful.
Yeah, my dad had that, and he was miserable.
Everybody I know right now has shingles. I mean, it doesn't sound, that's one of those deals. I go to the doctor now and again, you know what I'm saying, Josh? Mm-hmm. And they always say it's about time you get that shot. And it's not that I'm opposed to the shot or afraid of it. I don't mind needles. I just keep putting it off. By God, I got to find out where to get that shot because everybody I know is covered in those shingles. One individual, a friend of mine, I saw him the other day, had them on her face.
Oh, stay away from them.
Well, it's not contagious. They told me it's not contagious.
I'm pretty sure if you
I thought it was.
contact with. I thought it was crazy contagious.
I thought it was like chicken pox.
I know nothing about it. They told me it wasn't contagious, and I followed their lead.
Or maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought it was like.
So I licked her shingles.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
I'm a shingle licker. Yeah.
Yeah, it says it's like the same virus as chickenpox.
Yeah, I thought it was like if you had chicken pox.
I'm sure there's somebody who could straighten us out on text, but it's not working. Yeah, you've heard it is contagious.
Yeah, I mean, we could ask Dr.
Well,
I don't know.
F me running.
My mom did get the shot recently, and it knocked her on her ass for about 36 hours.
The shingles shot? Mm-hmm. Really?
Well, that's okay. It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
After seeing these folks. Wow, I'm telling you.
Huh. I guess you can't get shingles from someone. It's not contagious.
Interesting.
I
Got
told
like
you.
three different websites.
So if you got
websites.
shingles, you can be looking to mingles, and they don't have to worry about it whatsoever.
I'm waiting to see that bumper sticker.
Shingles and looking to mingle?
Shingles and ready to mingle. Yeah, my friend told me it wasn't contagious. Why you guys got to argue with my friend?
Oh, nobody was arguing. I just thought that, because there was a neighbor that had it not too long ago. Maybe she just didn't want to be around anybody.
Yeah, I
could
guess
be.
so.
Oh, man. Dark Side of Comedy, huh?
Yeah, it's.
I'll have to check that out.
I do often think about, like, Chris Farley and Robin Williams, like, what movies would they have been in after they passed? You know, like, great comedy movies.
I bet Chris Farley would have been in an Adam Sandler movie.
For sure.
Definitely.
It's a pretty solid guess.
Well, Chris Farley was the original voice of Shrek and was actively recording it when he died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they still have some footage you can go watch on YouTube of him doing the Shrek voice.
Never
really cool.
saw it.
Oh, I've seen it. It's
I
so
love Shrek.
different. It's so different.
Not the gumdrop buttons. It's my favorite line.
You are the Muffin Man.
Like Josh said.
A little inside joke there. I apologize.
Like old Cubby said a minute ago, Randy Shaver will be joining us on the telephone this morning, live from his big golf tournament out there.
You'll be exhausted, I bet.
Oh, tomorrow he's going to be a pile.
Yeah, he'll be. He always sounds a little bit cooked. This is a busy couple of days for the kid. I'll tell you what, on my way in this morning, probably the most ridiculous downpour that I've ever tried to drive a motor vehicle through.
I missed it.
Hoo-wee.
Yeah, it must have started after I got here. It was sprinkling on my way in. That's about it.
Jesus balls, it was coming down. It was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, you know, I don't mind that.
Hydroplaning is fun.
I like hydroplaning.
Yeah, me too. Holy, I don't know what it's doing out there right now, but at about 4 o'clock this morning, 10 to 4, whatever. Oh, holy balls. That was something to experience.
Yeah, I saw some like lightning in the west, but outside of that, it was just barely sprinkling.
Yeah, one of those ones where the windshield wipers can't go fast enough.
Yep. You have them on high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had her on full bore, I'll tell you that right now. So, there you go. Did I miss anything? We're happy to be back. Again, we'd love to be saying hello back and forth with you on the text machine, but it's cooked. Didn't get any sleep last night.
Yeah, it was tough falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Tough to get back into that routine, but we'll get her done. We'll get her done. So here's the deal. A little bit later on, Randy Shaver will join us. Brad Ryder.
He's coming in. Did you say that, Wapple?
Yeah, he told me he was coming in studio.
He passed that information on to more than just the two of you. Yeah, he said he's going to swing on in. Randy Shaver live from his tournament. Brad Ryder in studio a little bit later. Dr. P. Jesus, maybe you have to put a thumb up your behind, Josh, and find out what the hell's wrong with you. Dr. P. Jesus is going to be in studio, too. So thank you for listening. Nice to be back. We'll take a little break and return in just a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
For the real story behind some of wrestling's biggest moments, it's Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson, too.
We got to talk about the crowd in France. At one point, they sent out an emergency to everyone's phones stating that the decibel level was dangerously high. You know, a few surprises, like singing Randy Orton's song. I was like, there are words to this song?
Something to Wrestle, wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
That's our first stupid news report in a while, huh?
It's been some time.
It has. We're starting off here in Omaha, Nebraska, which, as most of us already know, is an awful place to start. or finish, or anything in between. Omaha, Nebraska.
I've driven through it. That's about it.
It's awful.
Never been.
Not missing much.
You been there?
Yeah. It's kind of like you driven through it, but yeah, nothing really to see.
And I believe this is a stupid news update. The update, I believe, is that this effing story has made its way into a courthouse down there in Nebraska. But it's a fun story. In case you forgot, we can cover it again. Some of you might recognize it along the way. According to the cops, a funeral home worker was looking to use a body bag, normally used for dead bodies, don't you know? He was looking to use a body bag to steal a crazy hot life-size sex doll out of the house where some poor bastard had checked out. Won't be needing this anymore, kind of a thing. Do you remember this story, everybody?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah. So the update is they've shifted the scene to a courthouse. Ryan Smith is the name of the dickhead who tried to pull this caper off. He's a 42-year-old. He was arrested back in October for breaking into the apartment where the dead guy lived. At the time, this Smith character worked for a joint that removed dead bodies and things like that, dealt with embalming and transportation of dead bodies. That's what he was doing for a living back then. I doubt he works there anymore. Now that they're in court, they're covering this scene all over again. Smith and another co-worker, they were sent off to the apartment to collect the dead guy's carcass. Near the dead fella, on the bed, was a real-life, this is how they put it, a real-life size version of an adult female. Just a big, legit, sexy F-doll. Maybe, I don't know this for sure, but maybe the dead guy was folding it when his lights went out for good.
I was wondering that myself.
Mm-hmm. What a way to go. Wouldn't disappoint me at all if that's the way I go out.
I don't know if I would screw a used sex doll.
A used?
Yeah.
It would have to be very thoroughly washed, taken care of.
Yeah, I could wash it up.
You could?
Yeah.
Yeah, rub a little soap on it.
No, I'm like Josh. I'm out.
Well, now that I think about it, my wife's kind of a used sex doll.
Oh, my God. What the hell kind of comment is that?
I was just thinking, like, I've had sex with people who had sex with other people. Sorry about the voice. It's getting worse, I think.
Cubby's not feeling 100%. Give him a break.
Yeah, leave me alone.
So this Smith idiot and his coworker, they both made comments about the doll lying on the bed next to the dead guy, right? The cops heard these two guys make comments. They said something along, I mean, I don't know what they said, but I think we can imagine they said something like, well, god dang. Huh? Look at that sumbitch right, they made comments. So the cops, had the guy in mind from the get-go.
How would you guys feel if you're known as the guy who died, or girl, Ashley, who died from having sex with a sex doll?
I wouldn't enjoy that.
I think it'd be a great legacy to leave behind.
You're not being serious.
It'd be kind of funny.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Dana, you wouldn't? You really wouldn't have a problem with it? No, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I wouldn't, except for having kids.
Oh.
You can't do that to them.
I don't have that problem.
How did he die again?
Oh, your kids are going to get so much crap.
Yeah, can't do that.
There'd be inflatable dolls at their desk when they get to school on Monday.
At least your older kids are out of school.
I don't think it'd be any better.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be any better.
True.
For them.
No, it'd be probably worse because they can afford, there'd be sex dolls everywhere.
Now they really know what's going on.
Get out your car after work, there's a sex doll in it.
Yep.
So this Smith guy, he and his coworker, they see the sex doll lying next to the dead guy. They make some smart-ass comments about it. They haul away the dead guy, and the cops lock the apartment. Later that same day, Smith returns to the joint. He's got a body bag in hand, and he tells the folks who run the apartment complex, yeah, I gotta get back into that apartment. I gotta collect the sex doll for evidence purposes. You're not a cop. You're a friggin' funeral home worker.
If I ever do buy a sex doll, I'm naming it Dana.
Is it going to be a boy or a girl sex doll?
It depends on the night.
That'd be nice. You can tell us all kinds of detailed stories of what you did to Dana. Yeah. So, back to this guy now. He says, I got to get back into the apartment. They said no. Then, a little bit later on, the apartment staff noticed that, he had been in there. He had somehow gotten in there. They threw him out. The staff shows up. They find him looking all disheveled His shirt was untucked. His pants were in disarray.
Oh, no.
He's got that I just had sex hair.
Yeah. So it kind of made it seem as if Smith was in there pumping on the dead guy's F-doll girlfriend. Word is he never did get to stuff the F-doll into the body bag so he could take the damn thing out of the apartment. And it's been decided now in court that Mr. Smith unlawfully entered the apartment with a body bag and that he had the intent to take the sex doll, which they mention here in the article is an item of nominal value. They are spending if this dead guy really did, get the top of the line setup. Mr. Smith is not done with his court appearances. He's got to show up a few more times before they give him his punishment, but
Weirdo. Ugh.
There was a couple of comments on the story I liked. For example, how is this a crime? That was one of my
Well.
And then my other one is, today the whole world is connecting through the internet. Home-based jobs makes extra dollars, and they talk about how they made nearly $20,000. God dang, this sucks.
I don't even know what the hell you just said.
Those when people put the BS about here's how you can make this amount of money.
Oh.
Or they'll post a picture and they have all this money around them.
They have so
and they're
much
like,
cash.
Look at how much I got this week.
And then there's a link I'm definitely going to click on.
Yeah, this guy he got himself into the apartment, and it seems very likely that he bumped with a dead man's sex doll.
Do you think he'd have a case if he walks in and says, I did not have intent when I walked in the house, but I saw how hot the sex doll was, and then I wanted it?
Could be second degree
Yeah.
at that point. What if you, your parent was going to leave you that as their legacy?
Gross,
It's in the will.
Now it's in evidence. You can't have sex with it. It's no longer yours.
One of my folks leaves me a high-dollar sex doll when they die?
I would never
Son,
forgive them.
It's in the will.
Before I go, this will be yours.
Okay. Then I probably couldn't bang it.
If your dad banged it?
Well, yeah, I didn't think of it that way. I just thought of it, that gesture, this is what I want you to take after I'm gone, would make it special. Because, you understand what I'm saying?
I think so.
I wasn't so much thinking about the fact that, my dad and I would share the same sex doll, because while he was alive, I bet we could have been Eskimo brothers, and I would have been comfortable with that.
Oh,
I would
crazy.
love to be at that video will reading. And Nikki, I would like to leave my sex doll to you.
Just provocative photos.
Some behind-the-scenes footage.
Yeah.
I think when he was alive, I think we could have been comfortable knowing we were Eskimo brothers.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, God.
I could see Dana bringing one around. Just in regular life.
I'm just at Chipotle with my sex doll
Yeah.
sitting there in the booth with me.
Now, here's a little something about a resort town in Spain. I doubt any of us are heading in that direction anytime soon, but just say you are. A resort town in Spain is attempting to dummy down the rowdy behavior of tourists, and they're kind of specifically targeting bachelor and bachelorette parties. Tourists are coming to this town for their bachelor and bachelorette parties, and it's been getting so buck wild. This town is banning F-dolls and giant penis costumes from being displayed in public.
That sucks.
Platja de Aro is my best attempt at saying the name of the town. Small little town has become a popular destination for bachelor and bachelorette parties. The town has been known to host, is this for real? 12,000 people live in this friggin' town, but on the weekends, 300,000 tourists come there in a single weekend?
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Double balls.
That would get really, really annoying.
That's a lot of morons. So the mayor has announced they're just tired of all this kind of scandalous behavior. The mayor has announced a new bylaw banning people from going out in public without, this is how he says it, they're banned from going out in public, quote, without clothing or only in their underwears, Also, banning clothing or accessories representing human genitals. Banning dolls or other accessories of a sexual nature is how he puts it. And you could get fined. It's kind of a wide range. If you're in this town running wild like that with an inflatable penis or a hump doll, you could get a fine somewhere between $300 and $1,600. Pre-wedding celebrations have gotten out of hand. It's threatening the peace of the locals.
I'd love to know the difference, right? What's the $300 fine look like?
Yeah.
What's that 16? What are they doing for that 16?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw one of those parties. I was shocked. I had no idea that existed.
What kind of party?
The bachelorette party with all the penis straws. And
Right.
Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Big inflatable dongs.
I thought,
Cute.
This
I love
is
it.
fun.
I think the $300 fine, Cubby, is probably penis straws, and the $1,600 is,
The big inflatable penis.
that or a couple of dudes are Eiffel Towering a rubber hump doll.
Sure.
In the street. The cops have been talking, and they mentioned a recent example of poor behavior where a bachelor party used gaffer tape to tape the groom-to-be to a lamppost
That sounds fun.
and left him there.
Something out of The Hangover.
Yeah, they taped him to a post and they left his ass there.
Shaved one of his eyebrows.
That was one of the most notorious moments at my grade school. Was one time a kid got attacked by 7, 8 different people, and they taped him to the basketball, the thing that holds the basketball hoop.
The pole?
The what?
The pole?
Yeah, I'll go with pole. Yeah, right. The pole. They just taped him there. And
did he have a good sense of humor about it, or was he not happy?
I don't remember. I think he was pretty pissed.
Oh, I could see that happening to me. I'd be pissed.
I could see that happening to you too, Wobble.
The teachers
like
are
in
over
your
laughing
future,
at you, too.
You were certainly the type that would get taped to the basketball hoop pole.
I mean, like, I could see that in your future.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Shortly.
They
I
taped
think
the
there's
dude.
not a basketball hoop near me.
They taped the dude to a lamppost. Loud music all night long. So, like I said, they're trying to cut down on this nonsense. So they're going to start fining people. Now, if you want to go the other way with this, there's some people who aren't wound as tight as these folks in Spain. An Italian tourist town recently announced plans to begin hosting naked weddings.
Wow.
I've never been to one of those.
I wouldn't want to.
You wouldn't want to go to a naked wedding?
No, I don't want to see the crowd.
I'd stream it.
Oh, yeah. They've got like their aunts and their uncles there. And, good call, Wobble.
Great Aunt Doris comes swinging on through.
So
She's stacked.
So that means, Wappo, you'd never go to a nude beach then, because you don't know what you're going to get at a nude beach.
Yeah, I don't think I want to go there.
I hear you.
I've seen Euro Trip.
Oh, yeah. They're expecting babes and it's anything but.
Yeah, when we went to hedonism, it was disappointing.
Well,
It wasn't Girls Gone Wild. That's for
no, but you didn't go to the secret beach.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to.
I did.
You got to be naked for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to get.
And from what I discovered, you had to be having intercourse with someone once you got on
Oh,
to
really?
Wow. Oh, hell yeah. No, Cubby. That was something to see. The general daytime naked crowd, no, you don't want to see that. The after hours secret beach, word up. You want to see that.
That's the lay everyone's looking for.
I guess so.
Oh, God, yeah, there were, it was good times.
Yeah, I just saw like the drunk European guys with penis piercing.
Yeah. What you and I saw together wasn't good. But after Cubby went night-night and Daddy went looking for some other good times, it wasn't bad.
Things turned around. All right.
Do you guys, you folks follow the Transformers cartoon show and whatnot, right? We used to.
I don't watch the movies.
Oh,
I used
To
to
an
love
extent,
the show.
yeah.
I used to love the show.
is there something significant about Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the Transformers? Is that the hometown of the
I
Transformers?
think it is.
Is it really?
I think so.
That's where they came from.
I think that's where like Shia LaBeouf was.
Oh my God. Albuquerque, New Mexico police arrested a man for climbing up a Transformer statue downtown. See, that was why I'm asking. Why would they have a Transformer statue in Albuquerque? Is there a connection? Wapple says, yes, there are. They arrested a guy He climbed up on a Transformer statue in downtown Albuquerque, and then he took off all of his damn clothes. He got naked.
That's a sweet statue.
Yeah, it does look super detailed and cool.
Doesn't make me want to disrobe and climb it.
He walked over to the statue with all of his clothes on, but once he climbed up on top of it, he got into the nude. What character is it?
Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say that?
You
He's
did.
the best. He's my favorite.
And he can't say anything.
No.
He can't say, get off me.
Bumblebee.
He's got to communicate via his radio.
The cops helped him down, okay? Naked. This guy did not look good naked. It reminded me of the stories Josh and I were just telling about hedonism. This guy did not look, he looked terrible naked. Absolutely terrible. The cops helped him down. I guess they didn't punish him the first time around. They said, just put your friggin' clothes on. But they had to punish him because 2 hours later, he did the same damn thing over again.
Oh, moron, you had a chance.
So I don't know if this guy was on crack rocks or... His name is Hector Malero. Was he 47? I thought I had his age around.
Trying to remember.
He's in his 40s. I thought I had it written down, but I must have screwed that up. 5:45 a.m. was the first time he climbed up on top of the Transformer and got naked. Right in the friggin' bright a.m. sunlight. 5:45 a.m.
Yeah, 47.
That's disgusting. Save that for after hours. 3 hours later, he went and did it again. The cops are being nice about it. They're not saying, wow, this guy looked terrible naked or anything like that. They're saying they were concerned for his safety. They could have been mean about it, but they weren't. Now, apparently, I missed this part. I should have mentioned this part. When he first climbed up onto the statue, he wasn't wearing regular street clothes. He was wearing a bunny suit of some sort.
Oh, I don't like that. That's scary.
Yeah, he's a furry.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he gets paid to be a bunny.
Oh, because the story ends with, they said it's unclear if he was at a furry convention or something like that, but he was at a furry show, you're saying, Josh.
Why, he's a furry. I think it's kind of confusing, but that's...
So he's
either that or they were joking in the story.
Okay, he's a lone isn't the word, he's a known local furry, is maybe where we should leave that. Okay, yeah, he had a bunny outfit on when he first climbed up top, and he took that all the way off. Yeah, I don't know if this guy was blasted on bathtub drugs or what, but he got all that done before 9 o'clock in the morning.
It's a productive day.
Yeah.
Good for him on the body positivity.
Mm-hmm.
If I looked like him, I wouldn't disrobe.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Here's a video clip you might dig. Maybe Smashly can tell us if this is up on 93x.com. A television news anchor in Boston appeared to swallow a fly live on the air.
Yes, that is up.
Okay.
There's a lot of videos up there, though, so it's going to be hard to pick through them.
Pardon me?
There's a lot of videos on our website, so you might have to go to the second page, possibly the third page.
Oh, that sounds like a pain in the ass. We can't do anything about that?
And no, unless we change the whole layout of our website.
Oh,
well, I don't know how to do that.
You can kind of hear where she swallows it.
The Webster family, who lost a loved one, has been pushing for the change. Anchor into this.
Right there.
But you know what? She just gutted it and gave her hell.
Yeah, she's a pro.
That's impressive.
Like you heard in the audio, there was a slight pause as... See, now, some folks are saying this wasn't a fly. They're saying her eyelash fell off of her eye and landed in her mouth.
I thought that was weird. I was like, it landed on her eye and then in her mouth, and she didn't notice it?
Well, no, she noticed it. She's just trying to fight through it.
Well,
Whether it was a fly or an eyelash, she clearly noticed. She knew there was something on her. Okay, I guess I need to backtrack. Whether it was a fly or her eyelash, it started off kind of resting just under her eye. She's giving the news. She continues to talk. It goes in her mouth. You heard her pause for a second, and then she goes right back to reading her story. She was fully aware that there was something on her face, but she was just trying to let her buck and get through the story. I don't know if it was a fly or an eyelash, but it's fun to watch regardless.
That's a fun video.
Yeah, that thing was sitting there a while.
Remember this guy when he swallowed one? How pissed he got?
What really happened on that Thursday here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death? The is that? I'm dying in this country ass up town. flying in my mouth.
I absolutely love that clip.
That guy was having a day.
That guy was down in Houston. His name is Isaiah Carey. He was doing a live shot out in a field, and he got interrupted. The bug that jumped into his yap.
Oh, it's terrible.
That was like that wasn't a bug. That was like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
Massive. What he got in the yap.
I love how professional he is. What really happened at Augusta High School? And then all of a sudden just totally breaks character.
He does. Check out the lady, like Ashley said, maybe by this afternoon you can find the video on our website. The lady with the fly or the eyelash. Oh, man, another video. This guy, he's cute. I'm sure you can follow this. A dude with a suspended driver's license, he's got to make a court appearance over Zoom to discuss this suspended driver's license. So he jumps in on his Zoom court hearing, and the dumb bastard is driving a motor vehicle.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. I'm parking right now.
This is a driver with a license suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
Oh.
That is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
He's suspended, and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
The judge was not effing impressed.
Oh, his face was so good.
I'd hate myself.
He was just like the realization when he's like, oh, I boned myself. That was so good.
The judge is a fella by the name of Cedric Simpson, totally dumbfounded. The dude behind the wheel, he goes by the name of Corey Harris. I mean, and the look on this Harris guy's face, he just can't believe that he's gotten himself in more trouble. Well, Dinkus, you're driving your car while making a court appearance over your suspended driver's license.
I would be so mad
What
if
an
I was his
idiot.
lawyer. You get this case all set up, and then he does this.
The lawyer's embarrassed as all
You
hell.
could tell the lawyer was defeated.
Oh, God.
It wasn't a lawyer, actually. It was a public pretender,
Okay.
to be clear. I had to dump that in there just because I love that slogan.
That is good.
The first time I heard that, one of my friends when we were young, he got in big trouble all the time. And it continued as an adult. But so he was making court appearances when we were like 9th graders and 10th graders. And I remember the first time he said, yeah, my public pretender. It took me a month to get over how clever I thought that was. And I'm still not over it. This guy, this Corey Harris, I don't know what his problem is. That was just one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. And you got to see the reaction. That video is somewhere on our website.
Yes, sir.
Page 6 or something like that.
Yes.
Look for that. The judge's reaction is outstanding. And the judge ordered Corey Harris, Dinkus, to turn himself in to the county jail by 6 o'clock that evening. That's it. No more playing games, dude.
Yeah.
And the Harris guy was shocked by that. Oh, my God, he says. Well, what do you expect?
I hope he ended up driving himself there, too.
Oh, yeah.
At that point, why not?
Yeah.
For that. Again, to our listening audience, if you're making cute, smart-ass comments that we enjoy so much, if you're making them this morning, do our text giver, 651-989-9393. Usually we are sharing your texts and chuckling back and forth. Our text machine has gone bye-bye for now. We don't know if we'll get it back this morning or not. It's very typical of when we take some time off and we come back, there are things that are broken. So sorry, right now we can't receive any of your text messages. I feel bad about it, Cubby.
Yeah, I do as well. It sucks.
Yeah, I was looking forward to interacting with everybody again.
Now we'll close out here with this one. Nobody likes a thief. But you got to admit, this prick has good taste. Good taste. And I think he's gone into the record books with this heist right here. Dude stole 17 tubes of Pringles potato chips from a convenience store in one shot.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I don't know where the hell he put them all. They didn't detail in the story how do you conceal 17 sleeves of Pringles potato chips on you. And apparently, he's also got a smart mouth on him. Once the douche got busted with all those tubes of Pringles, he went ahead and told the cops, he said, quote, once you pop, you can't stop.
That is true.
Which is their slogan, I believe.
Yeah, that is their slogan. It's right.
That's cute. Once you pop, you can't stop. Sad part is the effing guy's 40 years old acting like this. He goes with the name of Adam Spencer out there in England, don't you know? He's been on a tear lately, stealing all kinds of different things, not just delicious potato chips, so he's in big effing trouble. Matter of fact, Josh, it says here he's got to take his ass to rehab.
Hopefully he gets the help he needs.
Pringles addiction.
I don't know. I suppose pant legs will be the spot, right?
They're bag. He's probably got a backpack.
Did he have a I think I was just picturing a guy walking in, without anything.
Yeah, like up the sleeves, up the pant legs.
What are those called? A bandolier?
Yeah, bandolero.
Yes.
Bandolero?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah,
where you got the ammo crisscrossed.
Just Pringles cans?
He's ready with Pringles.
What's it called again?
A bandolero, I thought.
Oh, that would be so
It's
cool.
one of the two. It sounds right. That would be a cute look. Yeah, to have those just strung right across your chest in case you need to pop the top, I guess.
I want one of those for a party. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Sorry about my voice, by the way.
Show to a party like that, you're going to be a hit.
Heck yeah.
Well, I've seen a one slinger. So the bandolero, the bandolier, whatever is two. They cross over your chest, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of you remember this, but there was a trend for a very short period of time to have a one sling over the shoulder full of beer cans.
Oh, I've never seen
Really?
that.
Yeah, it was tube shaped.
That's funny.
Yeah, I saw it early '90s at a few parties. It didn't last long because it didn't do dick to keep your beer cold. But some guys look kind of cute walking in with their 6-8 beers slung right across their chest like that. That product must have gone under years ago. Excuse me. I told you we'd all end up sick by the end of it.
Here you go.
Don't get sick.
We got to. No, I'm just drying up.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
We're very disappointed, but it's been a great year. Very proud of the guys. The way the city has gotten behind the team and the fans. It's been special, and now we just got to keep fine-tuning everything.
It hurts, this team's worked tremendously hard. We worked hard, obviously didn't get the result we wanted.
We never clicked all together as a team in this series. Not even one game. I think that was the main thing. Like in the last two series, we was all clicking at one time, making shots and stuff. We wasn't clicking at one time. The game plan worked because we weren't making shots. But we'll be back next year, man.
I just wish it didn't end like that. We just played better than us, beat ourselves a lot of times. We had a great season. But yeah, I just wish we didn't go out like that.
I hear you. Yeah, while we were on vacation, while the Half-Assed Morning Show was away, the Wolves were put to sleep by the Dallas Mavericks. Disappointing ending, especially to be just curb stomped the way they were at home.
Woof.
A lot of folks have, my friends and whatnot. Hey, man, what do you think of what happened to the Wolves? Or some of them, what happened to the Wolves? I agree. I hadn't heard that comment yet from Anthony Edwards. He's exactly right. They never clicked during the entire series with Dallas. They never did. They just weren't good enough. There's no real reason to get into it, details on this or that. They just weren't good enough. And Doncic and what's Goofy's name with the beard? I can't think of his name suddenly.
Kyrie Irving?
They were just that damn good. Those guys were outstanding in the series. Mm-hmm. And I think the rest of the Dallas Mavericks were far better than the Wolves expected. They certainly were far better than I expected.
Definitely.
So chalk it up to just not being damn good enough and going up against a couple of guys and their teammates who were absolutely outstanding. As much as I despise that Doncic bastard, he was absolutely outstanding. But you know what? And it goes against everything I was raised to believe in, Josh. But come the NBA Finals on Thursday, I will be rooting for the Boston Celtics.
I was wondering that.
You don't want to do that?
It goes against, I hate rooting for Boston or New York teams. 9 times out of 10, I stay away from rooting for Boston or New York. But, I hated Doncic going into this series. I hate him even more now. There's no way I want to see that douche carrying around the Larry O'Brien.
Yeah, I can't stand him either.
I cannot fathom the thought of him carrying that trophy around. So go Boston Celtics, whoever you are.
You know what I'm cheering for? A prolapsed anus.
Oh, my God.
I want him to get a prolapsed anus.
You want Doncic?
Because that's not permanent, right?
Those aren't easy to put back in.
You just need a plunger.
Oh, man.
I like your style. I do. A prolapse. I didn't think of that. That's why you get paid big dollars around here. Twins are looking pretty good. I mean, at least according to what I see on the highlights on the internet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's still a problem.
From what I read in the paper. But they keep winning series. They took 2 or 3 from the Houston Astros over the weekend. The Edmonton Oilers will be playing in the Stanley Cup finals for the first time in quite a few years. We're covering all of this when Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder join us in about a half hour. We'll be back here in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you into weird, spooky, and strange history? Horrifying History tells you about the side of history that people don't normally talk about. We tell the tales of haunted places, infamous true crimes, unsolved mysteries, the paranormal, and then we look to history to see where the truth actually lies. Want to get spooky with us?
Horrifying History, part of the Believe Network. Just search BLEAV on YouTube or wherever you listen.
The only really way to start to get rid of them is to vacuum them up, sweep them up, put them in a large garbage can, and then just kind of throw them away.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'll tell you what, welcome back to the Half-Assed Morning Show. We got good news and bad news. The good news is our text machine looks to be back up and running so we can communicate with our fabulous listening audience. It was deader than disco up until about 10 minutes ago. I don't know what happened. Someone put the hamster back on the wheel. We now are able to communicate. At least it looks promising that we'll be able to communicate via text with the brother and sisterhood. The bad news is Cubby caught the bird flu or some damn thing while we were on vacation. His voice is a turd pile. So normally, you'd be hearing his news report, his well-prepared and hilarious news report at this time. But he can't get her done, so we're going to do other things.
Yeah, I apologize. I hope it's not overly annoying, and it's getting worse as the morning goes on.
Why is it when you get sick?
I don't know. It was fine yesterday.
Your voice is the first thing to go.
It's unfair because sometimes when people get sick, they get like a sultry, sexy tone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mine goes the opposite.
You sound like you're back in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Well, we're sorry
I hope
for
it's
your.
not annoying. Sorry.
Yeah, I know that can be frustrating, Josh. Oh, it pisses me off so much when my voice starts going haywire.
We're sorry for your condition, Cubby, but yeah, here come the text machines. They're all wishing you well.
I was actually scared to look, so I appreciate you saying that.
Were you telling the truth? Now, I'm not trying to keep you talking, but look at the other people in the room. I know a full-on news report would be too much for you, so I hope you don't mind me continuing to ask you questions. You all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Was it true? Okay, last night, and we'll be talking to Randy Shaver here in about 25 minutes. This is the big weekend and week for Randy's cancer charity. Big golf tournament today. They raised millions of dollars. Last night, we all went off to Medina Ballroom, one of my favorite places in the whole world. I friggin' grew up in that place. We all went off to Medina Ballroom for a dinner and fundraiser, which is all, connected to Randy's charity. There was a couple of comics on stage. Josh, you had to get the hell out of there a little early because you live in godforsaken Egan, which is like a good hour and 45 minutes from Medina.
Yeah, I left about 9. They said it went to 9:30. I left about 9.
I don't know why do you live in these faraway places? But anyway, you texted my wife, which seemed a little shady at first. You texted my friggin' wife, who insisted on coming with last night to this gala. Randy
Shaver. She looked beautiful, by the way.
She was slinging some heat last night.
She was.
Yeah. You texted my wife after you left, and you said part of the reason you left was you were afraid that the comic was going to make fun of you. Was that a true statement?
Oh, no. The part of the reason I didn't say goodbye, I didn't come back. I was talking to you at the end because he was calling out people walking around.
He was.
And he kind of seemed pissed about it, actually.
Yes. Okay.
That's why I didn't come back and say goodbye to him.
Okay. So were you at least slightly concerned that the comic might make fun of you?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Because my friggin' wife said, oh, he's joking. I said, I don't know. I know Josh pretty well.
He was calling people out. So I thought, nah, he's going to come after me. I didn't want to disrupt his flow.
I love your style. Love your style.
Hey, I want to ask you something.
Go ahead.
My wife and I, we went to a buffet over break.
Sure.
Nice.
Oh, there's more. Sorry. The guy came up to us at the end, and he's like,
who's the guy?
The server.
The server.
He's like, is this separate checks or same check? And I've never been asked that with my wife, so I thought, is it possible he's looking at this couple and going, he's way too hot for her. There's no way they're together.
There's a chance.
I'd like to think that's the world we live in.
He thought there's no way this bag could possibly really be with this sexy guy.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense otherwise. Because I was kind of thinking, well, yeah, of course we're together. It was weird.
Separate checks.
I've never been asked that with just me and my wife.
Yeah. I wonder, is there a new trend going around now where dates are doing that more often than they used to? Could that be a reason why?
Maybe.
I mean, the number one answer certainly is
I liked mine better.
He thought you were too hot for your wife. No question about that's the number one option that he. But I'm also wondering if that's like a new trend. Splitting checks is becoming the new thing when it comes to dating. I wouldn't have a clue.
We're more fast food people, so I don't. Maybe that is it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean,
obviously, when you go out with a group, they ask that, but it's just me and her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a little weird. Maybe he just didn't know what else to say. It's sometimes just like word vomit. You know,
all right.
comes out and you're like, why did I say that? Yeah.
Separate checks. Would the two of you like separate checks? Your wife wouldn't want to hear that because Josh has money. She ain't got a pot to piss in. Not a pot to piss in. I'm kidding, of course. She's a wonderful lady, and it's always a pleasure to see her. I enjoy chatting.
She loves hanging out with you guys.
Chatting with her. All right. Well, how about this? So we can go in this direction now. Speaking of trends, dating trends, I guess. I think I'm saying this right. Polyamory?
I think that's how it's pronounced.
Polyamory.
Never heard of it.
All right. So maybe
you're actually in that type of relationship.
You didn't know it. Yeah, you didn't know it.
This is the definition of it.
First off, one side of the couple usually has no idea that they're in a polyamorous relationship. Okay, maybe splitting the check is a new thing, or I mean, not that that's a new thing, but it's coming back into style. This is apparently a new relationship trend, polyamory. Oh, we've heard things similar to this. This reminds me of, what is the term? When there are three people.
A throuple?
Well, I thought there was
like polyamorous?
Polyamory.
I have a friend whose wife said to fix their marriage, that's what they needed to do.
Polyamorous.
They're now almost divorced.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was her way of saying she wanted to sleep with people.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So they really, honestly, she tried to sell it as a way to save the relationship, and now it's become a total disaster.
Yeah, now they're...
And I'm sure, results vary. She probably never really meant to live this polyamorous. She just was kind of setting the table for, look, I'm going to start banging other guys and eventually leave you.
Yeah, knowing that he's going to say, nah, that's not going to work out.
Okay, that's what polyamory, from when I read about it, that's what it reminds me of polyamory. And I don't follow this stuff close enough. If you're totally into this, feel free to text and tell me what I'm doing wrong here. This is all completely foreign to me. Especially, I don't know why everything has to have a title now, but
yeah, I'm with you on that.
But that's how social media is,
They should just call it cheating.
Right.
Yeah, sure. Essentially what it is.
So polyamory is where couples are okay with their partner cheating on the down low. Again, that sounds like what I understand polyamory to be, but who cares? Where couples are okay with their partner cheating on the down low. So, okay, I guess maybe this might be the difference now that I'm reading it out loud. A polyamorous couple is probably very open and almost proud of their situation.
Yeah.
They want to tell you, well, where
and maybe both people are doing other people.
Right. Where polyamory, they want to keep the facade, I guess, of a traditional relationship on the surface.
Yeah, I took it as like, I know you're probably going to cheat on me. Just don't tell me about it.
Just don't make it obvious.
Okay. Maybe we just discovered, or I just discovered the difference. Maybe the rest of you knew already. A person is willing to turn a blind eye to side action. In the process, it says here, they focus on all the great things their partner has done in the relationship. That way, they find it acceptable. You know, he's been a great husband and a great father, and supported this family through thick and thin. I'm going to let him get some out of town ass once in a while. I'm going to let him go have some laughs. You didn't sound too thrilled with that setup, Ashley.
Just
by the sound that.
sad.
I don't know if sad is the word.
No, to try to like justify, like, oh well, he deserves it. Like, that'd be sad.
Well, certain relationship experts have been talking about this on podcasts. One relationship expert said, these people aren't fools. They're not to be pitied. Who talks like this? They know what they signed up for long ago and made peace with what they got out of it. It's a way of maintaining a relationship, but not endorsing the cheating behavior. So you keep it on the down low. Well, okay. I don't know.
I think I'm the only one on this show on this program that's watched this show, but The Sopranos, Tony and Carmela, that's kind of the setup they had for a while until it became too obvious, and then Carmela completely lost her cool about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the number one sign is the person being cheated on loses their voice. And that means their spouse is cheating on them.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Josh.
She would never.
Polyamory, fine. This all gets so confusing because everything gets a title, and there are some similarities between this and that. Like Josh said, it's just cheating. There's different flavors, I guess, but it's just that sounds just like old school cheating to me. Nothing wrong with that. You know, really, if that's how you want. I wasn't trying to be cute. If that's the way you want to operate in your relationship, hell, have some fun.
A couple of years ago, I was dating a gal who, her and her husband just kind of came to an agreement. Hey, we're great parents together. We're not in love anymore. Let's stay together for the kids. The rest, don't ask, don't tell. And that was their setup, and they were cool with it.
Yeah, sounds like that's what this is.
That's what it was? Mm-hmm. It didn't last very long, that situation?
No, they're still doing it, as far as I know. I'm obviously not dating the woman anymore, but yeah, she was just like, yeah, we're together in marriage for the kids only, and the rest of it, we just don't ask, don't tell. Just we're good co-parents, and that's it. We make a good team, and we want, things working well for the kids.
They're still married?
Yeah.
They lived in the same house
still married.
together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said something about dating the woman. Okay, They're a married couple. They've decided to go off and get girlfriends and boyfriends.
So did she take you back to their marital home?
No, we hung out at my place.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you ever bang either one of them?
Oh!
Softball mom, she's just wants to know. And again, I'm sorry about the voice. Says, Tolly, would that be like short of tolerant? Maybe that's what that comes from.
I believe that, yes. Yeah. I believe that's what...
you tolerate it.
That's what I took from that. Trash Trucker Jesus has texted. He said, look at Tinder. At all the poly and open marriage deals. I guess there's a lot of it going around. Poly and open marriage type deals.
I guess I wouldn't know that. I never used Tinder.
Never saw it myself.
I've heard it's just lawless on there, though.
I've heard it rules. That's what I've heard.
Wapple ruined it for the rest of us.
Well, I thought it was horrible.
Brought the curve down so far, people almost
central.
People almost just disappeared into nothingness. You brought that curve down so low.
I didn't know what AI was, but I definitely encountered it there.
You did? Yeah, I always thought it was like ordering a pizza. Like, I'll have one sex, please. It wasn't that way for you.
No, not at all.
Well, it's all very interesting stuff. So earlier,
whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. It is what it is. Earlier on, when our text machine was not working, I got to say I was a little disappointed in the brother and sisterhood. A little earlier on, well, right when we cracked the mics and saw that our text machine wasn't working. Now it is. Josh said, maybe some naked pictures would knock it back in, knock it back online. I only got one.
A good one?
Well, yeah, it was a good one. It was that Daenerys Targaryen or whatever from
she
that.
She got naked? I didn't know that.
Well,
on the show.
What were you talking about?
I guess I was thinking interpersonal life. I completely forgot about the show that was known for nudity.
Right, right. It was from that television show, whatever it was called. Help me.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah. Oh, you thought maybe that this listener had stumbled upon a brand new fappening or something?
Yeah, I was thinking like, Pam Anderson's sex tape.
Yeah.
So you mean outside of the Playboy pictorial?
Josh, of all people, asked for naked pictures. We got one. And it was Daenerys Targaryens from... all right, speaking of naked people. Oh, by the way, someone texted in and said, what, did Josh go to a Creed concert while he was on vacation and lose his voice singing along to the songs? Nah, he caught the bird flu. Speaking of naked, though, there'll be a day we'll give you another chance to send us quality naked photos. There'll be another day for that. But I must state again my disappointment. All right, here we go. Answer this one for me. And earlier on, we were talking about me and Josh and our experience at Hedonism Resort, the nude beach down in Jamaica. Josh and I had very different experiences at those beaches. This falls into line perfectly. Here's the question. Should women, and again, we hear this stuff, should women be allowed to go topless at water parks?
I don't see why not.
I don't think I'd want to, just because of, the kids. But if it was an adult-only water park, yeah.
See, they don't say anything about adults only.
Yeah, I don't
We're talking
want to
about
be swinging around in front of children.
We're talking about your traditional...
Swinging around.
You got nothing on you that's swinging yet.
You're too young for that.
Yeah. Traditional style, family, what should women be... We have the same arguments going around, right, about the city streets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And where are we with that? Does anyone know?
I thought in Minneapolis at parks it was... Well, maybe I shouldn't say, but I thought Minneapolis had some rules where it's all right.
Okay. Has anyone seen
Don't go do that.
No,
just in case,
you're just voicing your...
I thought I'd heard that. I'm poorly voicing.
Barely voicing your... has anyone seen a topless lady walking around the streets yet?
No.
Just on the news.
On the news?
Yeah.
Like crazy?
Talking about this story.
Oh, talking about the story. The latest now is water parks. Somebody asked this question on Reddit. If women should be allowed to go topless. Well, it says here, it expands out a little bit here. It says, like water parks and beaches. This will just go on forever and ever, won't it?
As of November 2020, it's legal for women to go topless in Minneapolis parks.
Okay. I guess I've spent a grand total of 0 minutes in the last 4 years, and maybe in my lifetime at a Minneapolis park, so I couldn't.
That's where I grew up, so as a kid we'd go. I've been there a long time.
Well,
never saw a topless lady.
But you must have seen some bikinis.
No.
Girls laying out?
Nope.
Oh,
no.
that sucks.
Really?
No.
Those parks in Minneapolis, they sound weak.
I saw some people approaching a car, and it looked like maybe they were shaking hands and then walking away immediately, and then driving off fast when the park police are.
I got some news for you.
What?
Those were those sound to me like narcotics.
Nah. Mm-hmm. No.
Trading hands for money.
At a park? No.
In Minneapolis?
No.
Hell no.
Nah, I don't think you know what you're talking about.
All right. Topless. So the argument, like in any situation, whether it be a park or this or that, the argument is, for people who are for it, they say, well, men can, so why can't women? And those who are arguing against it, like what Ashley said, it's not appropriate, especially with young kids around.
Can you imagine all the adults? The parks would just be overrun with adults.
Yeah, that's true.
2 grown people on a seesaw.
Oh, gross.
Using those
Oh.
Those really cool digging machines.
Like on the air glider.
Dude, if topless women suddenly decided we're hanging out at the water park, yeah, you'd have buddies and relatives who were suddenly getting season passes for the damn
I
joint.
love the lazy river.
Yeah, your grandpa, he's on death's door, would have his 105th birthday party at the water park, despite never displaying any interest in it in his prior 104 years on planet Earth. It'd be madness. 3,000 people voted on this on Reddit, if that means anything to you. And 75% said it should be an option for men and women, whether or not they want to go topless. Who's going to explain that to my children?
Their boobs.
You?
Well, I got a 6th grader. I think he'd be pretty excited about it.
I did see.
No explanation necessary.
When I was your son's age, I did see some accidental boobs at a water park, and it was one of the greatest days of my life.
Who the hell hasn't seen accidental boobs at a water park, dude? That's why we showed up at a few of those water parks. Tell us more about it.
It was at a water park in Egan. I had a season pass, and a mother was going down the water slide. I'm guessing she's probably about my age now, in her 30s. And she was, this water slide whipped down so fast, and she came out the other end, no top. Couldn't find it either. She was kind of holding them there, bouncing around for a while, trying to get that thing back.
It's always
on.
at the bottom of the slide.
Dude, I went to, what do you call that joint
Wisconsin
again?
Dells.
I went to Wisconsin Dells, and I saw more genitalia in 3 hours than I had in maybe my entire prior life.
You just pick up one of those plastic folding chairs and just set it down by the bottom of the slide.
Oh, my God. It was
just parked there for a couple hours.
I got to be honest. No, I got to be honest with you. It was terrible.
Oh, not good nudity.
A lot of it was terrible.
Oh, that sucks.
Just, I wanted to put a megaphone up to my yap and say, did anybody go shopping for a bathing suit that friggin' fits? It was just gear everywhere, Jock.
Yeah, and I more feel bad for him than find it sexy.
It was rough. Oh, but water parks, city streets, whatever, this will go on, I bet, until the day that we die, Should women be allowed to? I don't give a pump one way or the other. I remember when we were about 18 or 19 years old, me and a buddy were working at his dad's warehouse. God, we had some riotous times. Fresh out of high school, and me and this buddy of mine, we were the bosses of the night shift at this warehouse. And we got a lot of temps. And some of the temps were characters. I mean characters. Some of them were there just to make enough money for their next crack rock. You know what I mean? We got some characters in there, and it was part of the time hilarious, part of the time kind of squirrely and iffy. We didn't know. Some of these people were kind of cracked. And I remember one particularly terrible hot night. There was no air movement in this warehouse. You warehouse people know what I'm talking about. Stifling hot. And the temp showed up, and it was 4 guys and 1 girl. And a couple hours into the shift, all the dudes had their shirts off because it was so horribly hot in there. And here's this gal screaming at me and my buddy, because we were the bosses, about how she wanted to take her shirt off, too. We didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to say.
I mean, of course, we, being 18, 19-year-old guys, we were thinking, well, all right, I can handle some boobs while I'm putting a shift in here at the warehouse. But then we thought, well, we can't let a topless, it was just an effed up situation. And she was furious at us that we didn't give her the green light. Because really, really deep down, it really wasn't fair to her, because it was horribly hot. And we were all shirts off. That was a lot of years ago.
Can someone read Vertically Challenged Jesus' text?
I will. It's right here in front of me.
It's funny.
Is it the one that starts, oh, those slides at Valley Fair?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a text from Vertically Challenged Jesus on nudity at the water park. Those slides at Valley Fair, she says, my cooch and everything was hanging out when I got up. Lordy. Embarrassing. Oh, as a teen.
That would be awful.
Oh, God.
Yeah, those slides are dangerous there.
The really steep one?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard cooch in a long time.
No.
Me either.
So almost, if you would have called it a cooter, it would have been the perfect text. But who am I to, we appreciate you listening.
Please welcome people's sexiest man alive, Mr.
Randy Shaver.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Take a cart when you golf, sir? Yeah, I'm not walking. Somewhere in the history of golf, I'm willing to bet it was an American who said, I think I've come up with a way to take virtually all the exercise out of this game.
This crowd has gone deadly silent. Cinderella story, out of nowhere. A former greenskeeper now about to become the Masters champion.
It's in the hole!
Oh, man. Big golf tournament today over at Rush Creek. Randy Shaver's charity putting on a big party. Randy, how are you?
I've been better.
Well, you're still home. Also, Brad Ryder in studio, everybody. Look, Brad Ryder.
Hey, you did it.
That's a living human.
Brad said he's got plenty of time to come in studio because he did not get invited to Randy Shaver's golf tournament. Randy, you're still at home. Normally, when you're having your big golf rally, you're on the cell phone. We hear the horns going off and all the golfers are hitting the track, but the weather has postponed things for now.
It has pushed it back to a 10 a.m. start for the morning shotgun, and they're only going to play 9 holes this morning, not 18.
Okay.
And then the 2 o'clock shotgun will go off as planned, and they'll play the full 18 because the weather obviously is getting much better than what it was early this morning. So,
are you a little aggravated?
I was up at 2 a.m. I heard the storms, and I kind of figured we were going to be in for some changes. And then I got a phone call at 4:30 this morning that said we got to make some decisions about what we're going to do because the course had taken on, enough water that they had concerns.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been a crazy morning, trying to notify everybody. We have a great network of people that have been able to handle all that, and I would say 90% of the celebs are still in for this morning, which is great, so I'm very appreciative of that. But it's been a scramble this morning, to say the least.
I've played in your event a number of different times. This hasn't happened very often.
Only one time we were rained out completely, and then had.
How many years ago was that?
Well, we were at the Muse that year, so that was downtown Minneapolis. So it's been well over 10 years. And then we ended up doing a makeup date in August for the golf event. So that's the only time in 30 years that we've ever had that happen.
Very lucky.
Yeah, I mean,
the storm we had last night was reminiscent of what was happening that night at the Muse. It was actually happening during our Sunday night event and just continued all the way through that Monday. So that was a complete washout. There was no way we were going to get on the golf course at all.
Quite a few people, Randy, are texting in asking you to be careful of those water hazards today. When you get out onto the golf course. But this is a huge couple of days for Randy and his wife and their foundation. The big golf outing today. Last night we were all very happy to be invited to the Gala. Awesome. Out at Medina Entertainment Center. Had a great time, so we appreciate the invite again, Randy.
Yeah.
And I always dig hearing the roster of all-time greats that you have golfing today. Can you give us a quick rundown of who's going to be swinging the wrenches, as they say?
Sure. Joe Mauer is going to be out there again this morning, which is great.
He should have played football.
Jimmy Peterson.
Jim Peterson?
One of your favorites will be out there
I love Jim P. Love watching him.
Willie will be out there both morning and afternoon.
Oh, nice. Willie Miles.
He's a big golfer.
Yeah.
I'm excited about everybody, but the Gopher starting quarterback, Max Brosmer, is going to be out there today, along with the kicker, who's the All-American kicker, Dragan Kesic.
Oh, sure.
And then Cody Lindenberg, the linebacker. So I've got 3 Gopher football players out there. I think Glenn Perkins is going to make it. I have not got that confirmed yet. Our boy DePaulo will be out there this morning.
Nice.
Andrew's playing. Tanner Morgan's playing this morning, which I'm happy to get him out there.
Sure.
Tom Pelissero, who's on ESPN, does all their NFL stuff. Tommy lives here in town, and he's going to be out there this morning. Chip Lowmiller, the great kicker, Greg Olson, who played for the Braves and the Twins.
Sure.
And then this afternoon, Terry Steinbach and a couple of University of St. Thomas guys, Glenn Caruso, who's the football coach, and then Johnny Tower, who's the basketball coach, are going to be out there this afternoon. That's just to name a few.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've had some people, unfortunately. Oh, Tony Oliva will be out there this morning too.
Oh, dude.
We've had some guys say that they can't make it this morning, which I was disappointed about, but it happens, and so we'll hopefully get some of those guys back next year.
Vacation Jesus has texted in, can the general public come out and heckle?
They cannot.
Oh. When are you going to open it up to a crowd? A crowd can show up and we can act like it's the Waste Management Open.
That'd be awesome.
Someday.
Someday. It's not going to be the Waste Management Open.
Not even after you retire and go buck wild, start putting on all that weight? Oh, speaking of golf, I wanted to throw this at you real quick. Then there's a story we need to tell. And then, trust me, we got plenty to cover this morning. Personally, I'm burned out on the John Daly gimmick. You know what I mean? He drinks, he smokes, he goes to Hooters, he's overweight. None of those things are as interesting as some people want to make it out to be. I'm over the John Daly thing. Anyone with me?
I enjoy the guy.
A little bit,
still
but
like him.
yeah, I think he's adorable.
Depends on what he does.
Look, he smokes. I just don't get it. But some of you like him. There's a series in the works about John Daly.
Like a reality series?
Gosh,
no. Thank you for asking. I should have been more clear. Like the
Michael Jordan,
a fictional. Well, not fictional.
Like a 30 for 30.
No. How do I say this, Josh? Like a movie.
Like a document.
Like a movie. No, not like a document. What do you mean? What do you mean a document?
Documentary.
No, a movie. I'm sorry.
You know, they made that show about like the OJ trial. It's going to be like that.
Oh, yeah. And John Daly will be played by, this is the way the story says, he will be unfortunately played by Kevin James.
Oh,
no.
Why?
You know, I watched the one where he played Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Sorry for the voice. I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I like that one.
Okay. He played Sean Payton. I heard about it. I
don't
didn't
know.
see it.
I don't know if he can pull off John Daly, though.
Throw a big beard on him. It'll be fine.
His voice, though.
It says here, Kevin James, previously played New Orleans Saints head coach. I love Sean Payton. He's one of the coolest guys. In a Netflix movie, Cubby says it's not bad, but it says here, James is known for generally goofy comedies such as The King of Queens, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. Give me a break.
That was bad.
Paul Blart, Mall Cop. And Grown Ups. Okay, so... Yeah. From what I took away from the article is most people are upset that Kevin James is going to get this gig. I don't know. I couldn't possibly care less, but...
I can't imagine caring enough about who plays John Daly.
Right. Exactly. I'm burned out on the bit. All right. Before we go any further, we should tell a little story from our last broadcast, which was a week ago or so, whatever, Friday, the Friday before Memorial Day. Was that what it was, Josh?
Yep.
The Friday before Memorial Day was our last show before today. We took some time away, and we had Dana get involved by sending him off to the Washington Avenue Bridge. Brad, Randy, you were on the line, right, at the time?
We were on the phone.
Brad, you were... Do you remember this?
Yep.
I had that sign that said, because the Wolves played that night, honk once if you think they'll win, honk twice if you think they'll lose, honk 3 times if I'm a douchebag.
Right. We've always loved the bit, sending someone off to the Washington Avenue Bridge to get the honks and this and that, have a few laughs, punish Dana a little bit for being a douchebag. And it was an odd experience, really, because every time we've ever sent anyone to the Washington Avenue Bridge, we get a lot of honks. There's a lot of traffic. Yes, I know it was raining that morning, and you even said into the cell phone, you said, well, people maybe can't see me because it's raining so hard, and that made sense to us. But
because people were saying we can't see him,
and people were texting in saying I can't even see the guy, so we chalked it up to okay, it's raining like hell, whatever. But it was just a weird experience because normally there's just a raucous bunch of noise in the back. Dana comes back here. So if you were listening on that Friday and you were wondering what the hell was going on, Dana comes back in here at the end of that program, and I can't remember how we figured this out.
A buddy of mine texted me.
A buddy of Josh's texted and said, I drove right over the Washington Avenue Bridge. He wasn't there.
But then he drove over the University Bridge.
And saw Dana standing there.
On the wrong bridge.
It turns out the key to the bit at the Washington Avenue Bridge is to be on the Washington Avenue Bridge.
Right.
You were on the wrong bridge?
Yes.
Wrong bridge.
And we never told you that.
Oh, my God.
So he comes back and we said, what was it like out there?
Bring back our other guy, Ross.
I did make it on the right bridge.
We can't.
At least he got to the right bridge.
The man is dead. Let the man rest in peace.
Unbelievable.
So Dana's, talking about it. We're like, hey, yeah, that really didn't work. There weren't that many honks, and people said they couldn't see you. And he said something, and Josh said, "Are you sure you were on the Washington Avenue?" Like Billy and Steve's. What's it called again?
Bobby and Steve.
Bobby and Steve. And Dana goes, "Oh Christ." So I felt the need to clear that up. The dumb bastard went to and before you left, how many times did he say, Josh, oh yeah, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh
We even had a meeting the day before, and I was like, all right, go to this spot on the bridge, make sure it's southbound.
You were on the bridge leading from West Bank to East Bank, weren't you?
No.
He doesn't know where the hell he was.
Yeah,
That was not very heavily trafficked.
It was University Avenue, wasn't it? It was the one that...
Yeah, it was at her fourth one.
Yeah, that goes right into Dinkytown.
Yeah, it's like the U of M bridge or whatever. Yeah.
Which gets
I was one bridge away, okay?
You were pretty close.
Gets
I'll give you
about
that.
5% of the cars that the Washington. So there you go. All right. Since we took last week off, there's plenty of things that we could discuss that we didn't get a chance to. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, what do you have to say about the Timberwolves' exit from the playoff?
Certainly, the game back here was extremely disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with what the guy said on TNT that it kind of felt like they were somewhat satisfied in not getting swept because they just didn't play well in Game 5. It was not very good. However, if you look at the big picture,
right.
You look at the overall picture, it was a very successful season. Surprisingly, maybe better than a lot of people thought. And I think the fact that 7 of those guys are under contract for next year, and it doesn't sound, at least right now, like they're planning to make any big moves with a Cat or somebody like that, that whole group will be back. And, you chalk up this experience and you give them a chance to kind of figure out what went wrong and how to fix it. I think the future looks pretty damn bright for what the Timberwolves can do. So,
Brad Ryder?
As disappointing as that was, I still think that, it...
Big picture, it was a great season, yeah.
I'm a little surprised that last series went the way that it did because I think all of us thought after the Denver series that was a little bit better matchup for him against Dallas.
Turned out not to be.
No, it didn't. A couple of times during that series I was listening to the TNT guys, and I agree with this part of what they said. They said if Minnesota was playing at their best and Dallas was playing at their best, who's the better team? And they all agreed it was Minnesota. The problem is we didn't play at our best the entire series.
No, they didn't.
And Dallas did.
Yep.
Most of the time down the stretch. And that was the difference in the series.
Yeah, they did not. The Wolves Josh played the audio earlier of Anthony Edwards, and I hadn't heard it until this morning, where after Game 6, was that 6? 5?
5.
After Game 5, Anthony Edwards said, we didn't click all series long. And he was right.
No,
they just did not play well the entire series.
I think Kenny Smith said, he was one specifically that said, he goes, if both of these teams play at their best, Minnesota wins every time by 10. And that's what he thought, and I believe that too. That's why I thought it was going to be a quick series in the other direction, but it never happened.
I think the Denver series took a lot out of them, personally.
Sure.
I think the fact that they went 7 games with Denver, and it was such a dramatic series, and Dallas had a chance to kind of sit and watch and catch their breath, certainly took some steam out of them.
That defense that they played in the first 2 games of the Denver series, we didn't see that.
Well, we saw
that.
it in Game 4. They played that way in Dallas in Game 4, but their total backs were to the wall in getting swept in Game 4, and since they got that win in Game 5, I just thought they would play much better at home after making it a 3-1 series. But
we talked about it earlier. The Wolves, they just weren't good enough. They weren't good enough. They did not play at their best. And Doncic...
They're certainly a good enough team, but you're right.
In the series, they were not good enough. Yeah. Doncic and the other guy, again, Kyrie Irving, were just lights out. Yeah. And the rest of the Mavericks were much better than I expected. Much better than I expected.
The big guys did play better. That Lively kid is really good. Yep. I mean, he's a perfect fit for what they do. I don't necessarily think he's going to be a great, starting player in the NBA, but for what they do and how they set him up, he's very effective and he's very active.
One area I do think they're going to have to address, and it's not because I think he's a bad player, but Mike Conley is 37 years old. They're going to have to use an area of strength, I think, which is out of these 4 players, one of these 4 isn't going to be back. Gobert, Cat, Naz Reid, and Garza. They're going to have to find some, because that's where their trade collateral is if they want to make a trade, and try to get a little bit younger at point guard, because Conley will be a 38 next year, and they're going to need to find somebody younger to pair with Edwards in the backcourt.
It's not going to be Monte Morris.
No, it's not going to be anybody that's on the roster,
right.
I don't think.
Well, it's funny, Randy, you just said, you don't think that the roster will change much. About 10 seconds after the series was over, I read an article about where Karl Anthony Towns is going to be traded.
Yeah, but I think that
it's been going on for years.
The problem with him now is the money part, because his super max deal kicks in this year. So he's going to be making, what is it now, 50-some million next year? He's entering into the first year of a 4-year, $263 million contract. Not many teams are going to want to take that on.
I've already read multiple articles about where Karl and or Rudy Gobert are going to be traded in the offseason. Also, while we were gone, Bill Walton died.
Yeah.
Sad.
And I wanted to make sure we covered that or touched on that, because he was just such a hilarious character and just a benefit to the history of the NBA. You know what I mean?
This is an excellent shirt, by the way. I've got one of those.
This is your shirt.
That's my shirt.
Yeah, it is.
It's National Popcorn Day. Please, party on. It's a wonderful day. It's Oregon. The sun was out. Come on. Just strip down right here. Bill is taking his shirt off. Onafuku Andu. He's the inventor of the instant noodle. And thank you. I love my noodles. I just got laid. I'm not a very good catcher. I'm much better at getting high than getting low. This can be eaten. This can be burnt as fuel. This can be used as decoration in your house. I love big leaf maples. I do too. Oh, this feels so good.
Was he not a real deal hippie or what?
Oh my God.
Cute.
All-time great player. One of a kind. All-time great player, college and pro. And then his broadcast career was just so much fun to follow. So that's very sad that Bill Walton is gone at only, 70?
71.
71. I did not know he was sick.
Little ironic. He was a big Pac-12 guy. Pac-12 is no longer, and
I didn't
even
think about that.
I think he pass away on the last day of the Pac-12.
Yes, the last day of the Pac. Yeah.
That's eerie.
The very last tournament was the conference baseball tournament, and he passed away that day.
I did not know that.
That was the last event for the Pac-12.
Dude.
Ever.
Oh, he loved it.
Yes.
He always called it, where did he had every time.
Conference of Champions.
Conference of Champions, yes. I mean, if you want to look up his track record at UCLA, and I know they were totally stacked back in those days with John Wooden, but, I mean, he won 2 national titles with UCLA. Bill Walton's Bruins teams were 86-4 in his 3 seasons.
I think they had a winning streak of something like 66 consecutive games or something like that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I had the clippings of. I have somewhere in my scrapbooks somewhere in my house. I do have the clipping of Bill Walton and Coach Wooden standing next to each other after they had won their 60-something consecutive game or something like that. Because that was a big story back then. That was huge. UCLA was what everybody talked about with basketball.
Magic Johnson was quoted saying that everyone talks about Nikola Jokic being the most skilled center ever. Magic said Bill Walton did it first. He had the jump shot. He had the great passing skills. Magic said he was one of the smartest basketball players to ever live. I love this quote from Bill Walton. If you don't know, he was very, very self-conscious and awkward as a kid, and you might understand why. He was freakishly large, and he had the bright red hair. He said, in life, I was always so self-conscious, red hair, big nose, freckles. I was goofy, I was nerdy looking, and I just couldn't talk to people. I was incredibly shy, and I never said a word. Then, when I turned 28, and he doesn't really establish what changed in his life, but he said, when I turned 28, I learned to comfortably speak to people. And he said, it's become my greatest accomplishment of my life and everyone else's biggest nightmare.
I think he also had a stuttering issue, though, too.
Oh, did he?
And I think he overcame that as part of what you're talking about.
I love that line. When I finally was able to communicate with people, it was the greatest accomplishment of my life and everyone else's biggest nightmare. Well, gentlemen, the Twins are looking pretty good. And when I say that, I mean when I look at the highlights online or look in the newspaper. They keep winning series. They took 2 or 3 from the Houston Astros over the weekend. Yesterday got a 4-3 win. Jose Miranda came up with a couple of big hits.
He's been playing well.
He has. And a guy who was invisible last year. We barely saw him. They've won 7 of their last 10.
But they're still 6 games behind the Cleveland team that's just playing out of their minds right now. I mean, I know that they lost yesterday, but they're 39-20. They're 19 games over 500. I thought I saw over the weekend or over end of last week, they have the 28th largest payroll. They're like one of the, I mean.
The Guardians?
Yes. Yeah. Their payroll is really low. In Kansas City's still in front of the Twins too right now, and Detroit's hanging in. So it's going to be a dogfight. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we're 50, 60 games in right now.
Are the Guardians making less money than Wapple? Is it that bad? Or
not quite that bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It is Cleveland after all.
You should have seen
on deck.
Randy Shaver. You weren't looking because you're busy at your gala, hobnobbing with all your pretty friends last night at Medina Ballroom. You did not see the trash bag that Wapple was shoveling free food into before he left. He was sweeping chicken cutlets and the vegetable medley into a garbage bag because the kid's broke.
Yeah, the servers had nothing to break down at the end of the night. I took everything.
I told him he should bid on one of the coolers, and then he could fill up the cooler with food before he left.
Too poor.
Funny thing was, this pretty lady comes up and says hi to me, and then this kid who I didn't even recognize in some golf shirt and somebody had shoe polished his hair.
Yeah.
And I look at it's freaking Wapple.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize him.
Here's the thing. None
Cleaned
of us
up pretty good.
None of us are comfortable dressing up. Wapple especially looked like a dork last night.
My girlfriend's like, we have to gel your hair because you're not going to comb it. And I'm like, oh.
You there's just nothing you can do, dude.
No.
You look like a massive dork last night.
Just trying to polish up a turd.
Yeah, that's all you can do sometimes, man.
Twins got a day off today before starting a series at stupid Yankee Stadium. We'll talk to Dick Bramer about that tomorrow. Klaus Gracie. What's the terrific Twins player who's been hurt? Klaus
Royce Lewis.
Royce Lewis.
Klaus Gracie.
Royce Lewis may possibly be back tomorrow.
Oh, that's super exciting.
May possibly be back tomorrow.
Forgot about him.
At Yankee Stadium, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, yeah, not exactly the happiest place on earth for Edouard Julien. Looks like he's been sent down. He's been struggling.
Yep,
so
he has been struggling.
Okay. I'd be very excited to see Royce Lewis.
Well, I think with Miranda, the way he's playing right now, I think that's what's given these guys the thought that they're going to send Julian down to try to get him corrected and get him back up at some point.
By the way, Deadhead Jesus texted the program, and he said he met Bill Walton at many Dead shows, Grateful Dead. He always had time to chat. He was very friendly and loved all people, says Deadhead Jesus.
I think he went to over like 800 concerts or something.
Yeah, he went to a lot of shows. Yep. Any one of you ever go see the Grateful Dead in concert?
No,
I've never. I've never listened to any of their music.
What?
I hate to say it. I know.
I really want to go see Dead and Company though.
I know nothing about the Grateful Dead. I'm with you, Randy Shaver. I never really caught on to it. I don't get it.
I couldn't tell you one song.
I can tell you
bad.
one.
Touch of Grey, right?
Touch of Grey.
That you'd know that one.
Truckin'. That's it.
Who's that guy talking?
I know. I'm sorry. And I don't necessarily want to blame you, Randy Shaver, for
Yeah,
my voice.
you sounded fine last night.
I know.
What happened between last night and now?
The emotion. I mean, you guys got us all crying a few times last night.
Josh has been a bit of an emotional train wreck the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you got me last night a few times.
Yeah, Cubby's got a terrible case of the bird flu. He can barely talk.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm sure it's annoying. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
The Edmonton Oilers will be playing for the Stanley Cup finals. Wow. That's their first trip to the
flashback.
Yeah. Oh, what was it? 2000. They lost to Carolina. What was it, like 2006, 7? Someone look that up. Last time Edmonton went to the Stanley Cup finals. 2006, 7. They had Dwayne Rollison in that. They had Ryan Smith was their big.
And they get Florida, right?
Yeah, Florida's back there for the second year in a row. Last night, Edmonton took the Dallas Stars out, and they won that series in 6 games. So
was the 2005-2006 season they lost to Carolina.
Word.
Is that the end of Parisi Suter as we know it?
Well,
is Suter done too, or
I don't think so.
Okay,
one of the best players in the history of the league.
Minnesota legend.
Florida, Edmonton. Now, here's the deal. 2,540 miles separate Edmonton, Alberta, and Sunrise, Florida. That makes it, if you care, the largest distance between Stanley Cup final opponents in the history. 2,540 friggin' miles.
So am I correct in thinking that the most possible farthest away teams would be Vancouver and Florida?
I would think so, yeah.
If that ever were to
yes.
happen, it would be Vancouver.
It must be.
Yeah.
They mentioned in second place all time, in the greatest distance teams have had to travel for the Stanley Cup final was it 10 years ago Vancouver played Boston? I'm going to guess it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're going to get sick of those friggin' airplanes by the time this series is over. Saturday night, they start. Corey Perry has made Stanley Cup history as long as he can make it to Game 1. He plays for the Edmonton Oilers. I didn't know that till this morning. Shows you how my Stanley Cup playoff viewing has changed over the years. I had no idea Corey Perry was still in the NHL. He's on the Oilers roster. If he makes it to Game 1, he'll be the first player ever to compete in the Cup final for 5 different teams.
Wow.
2000+7, he played for the Anaheim Ducks. In 2020, he played for Dallas. 21, Montreal. 22, Tampa Bay. Now with the Oilers, Corey Perry. Kind of a cheap prick out there. So I've been a fan. I have. He's kind of a cheap prick.
At least Dallas isn't in the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals.
Would that bother you?
Annoying. Yeah, I just don't like to see one city get all that.
Okay. All right. The ladies won the whole schmear.
They did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The ladies hockey club won the whole sumbitch while we were on vacation. If you want to go through with this, the Star Trib has made some suggestions for a team name. Apparently they're coming at us with a team name next year.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what I understand. You want to hear the Star Trib's stinking suggestions?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, number 10. The Laser Loons.
Nope.
No, thanks.
Ashley, your mic doesn't work.
You got plugged in.
Or you unplugged it again with your lazy posture. She leans back and her joint stick gets caught on the mic cord and it tears it out of the moorings. Are you back yet? No, she's not back. Fair enough. Yeah, thank you. Number 10, the Laser Loons. Number 9, the North Stars.
No.
I mean, I get where they're going with that, but no, let the North Stars remain the North Stars. And then they get cute here. Number 8, the Minnesota. And I'm tired of this joke. I really am. I'm burned out on this friggin' joke. The Minnesota. Oh.
The what?
Oh.
Gonna sneak right by you.
O-P-E?
Yes, O-P-E.
No.
Do you not know that bit, Brad?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
You sound defeated.
Or a guy that isn't in on the joke.
Oh, I'm defeated, too, whenever I hear that friggin'. Oh, I hate it. The Minnesota Nice.
No.
I kind of like that one. The Gray Ducks. We've been trying to press this for years, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It seems like every time we get a new gimmick, because we're so oddly proud.
Greenway's vodka.
Yeah.
Go
We're oddly proud that we're the only ones that play Duck, Duck, Gray Duck as opposed to Duck, Duck. The Minnesota Superior. I hate the singular names.
Nope.
Josh, what is this word? The Minnesota, number 4?
That was
Agates?
Yeah.
Agates?
Oh, that's cool. I love that.
Like
yeah.
a rock?
Yeah. That is really cool. I like that a lot.
Well, yeah, but you're into that rockology.
Yeah, and they're huge in rockology. They're really like Lake Superior. That's what they're all about. So like Minnesota is known for having like some of the best Lake Superior agates around.
That's
obviously,
really,
other
really
than, like,
lame.
Wisconsin or Michigan.
Come on, that's lame.
If we're going to go that route, let's name them the
I don't know what.
Taconite.
Yeah.
The Taconites.
I don't know what I'm trying to think what their logo would be, though, if it was agate. Like, is it just going to be like a rock?
David Lee Rock.
Yeah, we can let them borrow the mascot costume.
The Valkyries, the Whitecaps.
The Whitecaps, that's pretty cool.
And
Wasn't another team named the Whitecaps?
Yeah.
I thought they were.
Yes.
Wasn't that the old
The
team?
previous women's team was the Whitecaps, so they're saying bring that back. The Valkyries, I thought we already had a Valkyrie.
I did too.
Oh, that's the ladies' football team.
Yeah, that's a football team.
Well, you can't take that. They're already the number 1 is the worst. The Purple Rain.
Yeah. Love that.
I did see a lot of people throw that one out.
Come on.
R-E-I-G-N.
Yeah, Rain, R-E-I. Yeah. The Pigs are going to look a little different behind the bench next season. Darby Hendrickson is gone.
I was so sad to see this. Oh,
Darby
I love
Hendrickson,
him.
14 seasons behind the bench. He's been canned.
He survived a lot of coaches, too.
He did.
I was to say that. That is
Gosh.
unusual to
Yeah, very
survive
unusual.
that many coaching staffs.
Yeah. He worked alongside 6 of the 7 head coaches in franchise history. He played, of course, for Jacques Lemay from 2000 to 2004.
I know what can happen when a new regime comes in. So trust me.
Ah.
That's quite an accomplishment to survive all of those head coaches.
The
Boy,
man
can't-
speaks from experience.
Jacques, I'm trying to think if I can name. I remember. I'm wondering if I could name all the coaches in the history of the Pigs.
Oh man!
And I'm remembering back not that long ago. Somebody, was it a dad fight or something? We were going to possibly include a question about a Minnesota Wild coach, a past coach, and I had no memory of him whatsoever.
There was a guy who was an interim coach for about 27 games. Or
What
something
was
like
it?
that.
Torchetti.
Torchetti.
And I don't think either one of us got the answer.
I don't even know if we include it into the. Anyway, so you had Jacques Lemaire, Todd Richards. I remember Todd Richards.
Mike Yo.
Oh God, Mike Yo. The spray tan man. The current guy, whatever his name is.
John Hines.
And then this Torchetti, and who we missing?
Bruce.
Oh, Bobby Boudreau. Yeah, for God's sake, I would have totally. Well, I'm sure Darby Hendrickson will find a gig. He's got all the experience in the world, but yeah, credit to him for he stuck around for a long damn time. I still miss Jacques Lemaire press conferences. I still miss Jacques Lemaire press conferences. I used to, when we'd have those marathon drives home from St. Paul back to Wayzata in the early days of the Pigs when Jacques was there, we would make a point of turning on the radio to hear his post-game press conference, just to hear that monotone. The guys, they come down and we were on the power play.
Guys like Burns and Gaborik.
Yeah, he had great delivery. All right, for you dorks who love the Hard Knocks setup on HBO, The Chicago Bears will be featured on Hard Knocks. Does that do anything for you one way or the other?
No.
Not too intriguing.
Are you done with the show? You guys were crazy about it for years. Are you?
I thought I read that they're going to have 3 separate ones. Is that right?
Oh, I don't know these things.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. They're going to have one for
preseason,
one for in season. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I don't know who is on it.
Too much.
Yep.
Come on.
The Bears are one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it says training camp.
Yep.
Okay. Chicago Bears training camp. Then they go to a regular season team. Oh, Jesus. Nothing about the Bears draws you in. I couldn't tell you the first thing about the.
We got Caleb, right?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
that'll
that's
probably
the
be a
draw.
big part
the
of
number
it.
one pick.
Yeah.
Caleb
Williams.
Okay.
The quarterback.
All right. How about this? Gable Steveson. Of course, all-time great Olympic wrestler and started here at the University of Minnesota, is signing a contract with the Buffalo Bills to play football.
So the first time he ever put on a pair of cleats was when he had his workout with the Bills.
It's like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Roman
Reigns.
for the Vikings.
You guys
sold a few jerseys, and that's about it.
Is that all you think this will be, Randy?
I think so. I
Yeah.
mean, you've got to be. You just can't be a big body and play in the NFL. You've got to have all sorts of skills, and I don't know what the reasoning is or why they decided to do that, but
Yeah.
I just don't think that he'll last.
6'1", 275 pounds. Is that? I don't know these things. Is that wildly undersized?
position are they gonna
Defensive
try him?
line.
That's like John Randall's size, right?
Okay.
Not. Again, if you're going to be undersized, then you've got to have other skills to be able to compete at that level. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying he doesn't. He may shock us all. I don't know, but I think the odds are pretty stacked against
He's
him.
never played football before?
No.
Yeah.
Then it's an ultimate.
Not even at Eastview High School.
No, where he was the pride of
Everybody
ECU High
gets to
School, by the
play.
way.
That's the same place Dana never played football.
But hey, they did give me a jersey, all right?
Hey, we got a compliment to our, how should I say this? To our, the technicals of the radio station. I knew I wouldn't be able to come up with the proper verbiage. Got a text message that says, hey, Brad sounds better in studio. Oh, so you're saying our microphones sound better than a cell phone?
That's good. At least we have that going.
What was a way to say that, Josh? We finally,
Yeah, the overall tech issues are under
I know people miss me breathing, so I'll just take a moment and.
The overall quality of our broadcast equipment is how a guy should have said that. Finally got a compliment. They say Brad sounds better on a live mic than on his cell phone. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Gable Steveson. Yeah. Ultimate long shot. Heartbreaking to read that Mike Tyson's fake slap fight with Jake Paul has been postponed. Mike Tyson caught an ulcer.
I think he was on a flight, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he had something happen on an airplane that that's kind of what led to all this.
He fell ill on an airplane ride.
Yeah.
My God. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, their fight has been postponed. Don't worry, they'll announce a new date this week sometime. I see you guys are all going through your cell phones. When is this going to be? They'll announce a new date for their fight, which is going to be the worst patty cake jag-off fight since the last Pacquiao-Mayweather.
Oh, that was a snooze fest.
Yeah.
And there's like 140 fights before it.
Oh,
God, I remember we ordered that paper. You had a bunch of people over, were excited. Then it's all right. Oh, it's got to be after this fight,
dude.
All right, now it must be up next.
I had the same experience.
Oh, it was painful.
I loaded my garage with derelicts, a couple of cases of beer, and we were still staring at my stupid garage television at 1:45 to watch Pacquiao and Mayweather get done tapping each other on the forehead. That was such a nightmare. One of my buddies got so high. Because he thought I'm going to get real high and then go home. Well, he got real high, and then he just had to sit there and wait and wait.
That's the worst.
And wait, and then he got kind of paranoid high. Then he turned into like the weird staring guy high. He just got too high because he thought, like the rest of us, this will be over by 10:30. So there you go. I'll holler at you as soon as we know the new date on the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fake patty cake fight. Well, Randy Shaver, we wish you the best of luck out there in the. Oh my God! What is happening?
Leaf blower guy.
Leaf blower guy showed up.
He's in studio.
Follow Brad.
Right.
Randy, you know, it would have been nice if last night, if you would have known the sumbitch wasn't going to start till 10, you could have had 3-4 more beers and slept in a little bit.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that because 4:30 came awful fast this morning.
God dang. Well, good luck today at your wonderful golf event, Randy.
Appreciate it.
And I always look forward to the day after the golf event because you're as weak as a kitten. The day after, Randy,
And I'm going to be blasted on Friday morning, which is why I'm not going to be on the program Friday morning. I'll be in Vegas. I'm leaving Thursday night. And
you guys usually take off on a trip right after this.
I am taking Friday off because the last time I was in Vegas, I went on the show, which was a big mistake because I was not well.
I like that you're finally admitting some of these.
And I had many people say, what was going on?
But I'm sure when we asked you live in the moment if you were wasted, you said no.
I was not a well man.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I think I remember that. I think within 10 seconds we said, you're still drunk. And you said, no, I'm not.
No, it's just the phone.
The phone.
I was not a well man.
We'll talk to you tomorrow morning when you're all tired and burned out on life.
I will be very happy tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Randy Shaver.
Thanks, guys.
Coming up next, feel free to text us 651-989-9393 if you're kind of like Josh over here and you're not feeling so good. Dr. P. Jesus is going to be in studio to help straighten folks out. Whatever it is that's bothering you, send us a text. Brad, you sticking around?
I can for a while if you want.
Well, why the hell didn't you just stick around?
All right.
Who are you texting?
I'm not. I'm going through my email.
It's like having Janelle in here.
She's always on two phones.
Janelle's always poking at her damn phones.
I didn't have my phone up until you were kind of transitioning out of this. So.
You're a good man. Dr. P. Jesus is next in studio.
The Ed Milet Show showcases the greatest peak performers sharing their journey, knowledge, and thought leadership.
The quality of your life is really comprised of the quality of the questions you ask yourself, because the quality of the questions creates the quality of your thoughts. And so if you can begin to ask better questions in life, you can have a better life. The reason you're not growing if you're not is because you're not looking to ask a better question. And when you begin to ask the right questions, I believe you begin to get the right answers.
The Ed Milet Show is available on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Dr. P. Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Here we go. We're back. Thank you for listening to the Half-Assed Morning Show here as we dial in at 8:27 on this gorgeous Monday morning. We got Brad Ryder in studio and even more company. Dr. P. Jesus is here too. Text in a question if something is bothering you. You got something going on with your health. 651-989-9393, Dr. P. We'll try to help you out. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, sir.
Josh is very sick.
I know. I heard him. Heard him on the way in, and I heard him briefly in the hallway, and I advised him to not use his voice.
Get me one example.
Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, they do say that, I think I'm right on this, Dr. P, that whispering is actually worse when you're losing your voice. It takes more, it's like more straining to whisper.
What about tickling?
Yeah, whispering is not helpful, right?
My wife is going to love this.
The tickling. And
he should stop talking, you say?
I mean, unfortunately,
what about the ratings?
Well, I know, right?
Yeah, right.
So, right. I mean, he's more like a professional athlete, like a normal person. If they hurt themselves, you take some time off, give him some injections, give him some steroids, and he'll be good.
Yeah, he's a gamer.
Here's the most important thing, really. Am I far enough away from him right now to where I'm also not going to be sick?
I'm worried about that.
Which answer do you want? The real one?
We always want the real answer from you.
I mean, I would say, yeah, all of us are probably in jeopardy here because
son of a bitch.
Get out of
unless he stops breathing.
Oh, it's too late now, for Christ's sake.
Stop breathing.
We've been here all morning.
Okay.
I'm supposed to go to Austin, Minnesota this weekend for a beer party, and I don't want to miss out on the hot mamas.
I'm going to go like this.
He's covering his face.
He's doing a shirt mask.
With his hoodie. Okay, Dr. P, thanks for coming in.
Good to be here.
We always appreciate your time. And, again, 651-989-9393. If you have a question. I've got a real keeper here from the get-go. I mean, this is just frightening to me. What was the one we had last time you were in that was just bizarre? Do you remember? Maybe I'll remember it when I read this one. Listen to this. There was one we had last time around which was just very concerning. This has the same tone. From Hillman Welder Jesus. I broke my neck 7 years ago, he says. They said everything healed up all right. But now every time I crack my neck, a liquid runs down the back of my throat that tastes chemical?
Oh, no.
What?
Could you ask Dr. P what that could be? That is effing concerning as hell.
Yeah. We did have somebody last time, what was it? When they cracked their neck, I think they lost part of their vision or something, right?
That might have been what I was thinking. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't have even brought it up.
No. But it was, it was sort of reminiscent of this.
Broke their neck 7 years ago. They were told everything healed up. Well, number one, why are you cracking your neck? You shouldn't do that.
I know. People insist on that, don't they?
When they do, a liquid runs down the back of my throat that tastes chemical. Ask Dr. P what that could be.
I mean, the most likely thing if you're tasting something, that drains down the back of your throat would be something from like a sinus. But I mean, I'm just thinking this is out there. But I mean, you can have basically spinal fluid leaks if you've had some kind of weird injury. But it wouldn't be your neck though. I mean, you have to have really an injury to your head. And I would just to have that only happen when you crack your neck. And spinal fluid, I don't believe it actually has any taste. So if it tastes chemically or something, I would think it's some sinus stuff. But I mean, that's concerning enough.
That's some wild.
I mean, again, as we always point out, it's a good idea to have any of these concerns checked out by a medical professional in person. And this would definitely be one of those. Because, I mean, if you do have a spinal fluid leak, that means something weird is going on. But if you've got chronic sinusitis that's draining like that, that's not good. And I mean, I guess
it's all not good.
Yeah, and I think cracking your neck if you've had a neck fracture is maybe not such a good idea either. But yeah, those are my two thoughts.
That's an all-timer right there. I'm going to try to save this one and remember it forever.
We'll put it in our book.
Here's an interesting one for you, Dr. P. A diet-related question from a cat named Tucker. Maybe this is a tough one. I don't know. I'm interested in the answer. What's more unhealthy? Drinking 5 pops a day or 5 beers a day?
More unhealthy.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Pop.
Yeah.
Team
Pop here. Come on, Team Pop.
You're right. I mean, they're just okay. Let's think about this. So Pop, the primary things if it's not diet is calories. So, but beer also is going to have those calories theoretically. So there's not necessarily a huge difference in that.
How about the sugar part of it?
Well, that's what I mean. Just like how many calories does like a can of Coke have?
Like 140.
Okay,
so 150.
And I think a can of beer is probably, unless it's a light beer, is probably similar.
It's about 100.
So I mean, in terms of sugar, carbohydrate sugar, it's going to be equivalent. Obviously, the Pop doesn't have the alcohol component in it, and usually, the fact that he picked 5 is interesting because 5 or more drinks a day usually indicates probably some alcohol dependence or alcohol abuse, except for you, Nick. But so that's the concern there too. And
alcohol abuse, he calls it.
Okay,
what a nerd.
We'll call that Monday.
Yeah, right. And obviously, alcohol has to be processed through your liver, so that tends to. I mean, that takes a toll on your liver. So I would say
It's looking more and more like the answer is beer.
probably beer.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a square, man.
I know.
I dig the question, though. I dig that kind of
So
stuff.
weird to watch Silent Josh over there. He looks so sad. He looks so sad.
It sucks.
I see him like under his computer.
It sucks to have Silent Josh. It really does. We've never had Silent
for
Josh on
everybody.
this program.
I know. I've never
It's
heard it.
weird. I don't like it.
No. This is strange.
Well, this is also judging Josh.
Yeah, he's silently watching us.
I got time to judge all of it.
Oh man,
Wow.
yeah, you're sort of the referee.
Yeah. Well, which one of us looks? Well, it's a doctor segment. Which one of us looks the least healthy?
You know, as the sickest one here, Wapple.
How did I know it was going to be me?
Well, he's just so malnourished. Is what he is.
Did anybody take a picture of his hair slicked back? I'd like to see that.
It was brutal.
Oh, I think I can.
Yeah, it was really bad. Last night's event, Wapple combed his hair and it did not work.
I even gelled it.
Yeah, you did.
The gel. I think that's where you went wrong.
You got to stop listening to your girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Sometimes she has
She's
good
always
ideas.
telling you to do all these silly things, and you end up making a fool out of yourself. We got Dr. P. Jesus in studio. Questions coming in. 651-989-9393 again is the number to get a hold of us. Okay. Dr. P. Milwaukee Metrolo Jesus. I have an 18 millimeter pituitary tumor. What do you know about that? You familiar with such things?
Yeah.
I have an 18 millimeter pituitary tumor.
Before I forget, Josh, you could contribute by maybe like using sound effects and stuff or something. Or,
Yeah,
I mean,
if our studio worked, I could.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're in a broken studio. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now
Wow.
he's sick and pissed. I have no symptoms.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Oh.
Except low T. Does that stand for testosterone?
I mean, I guess it could, but it would probably be low thyroid hormone.
Okay.
I would
Okay.
assume it's not low gossip.
Low gossip.
Oh, because
T.
what's the T?
Oh, stop it.
Okay.
Should I have it removed now or wait on the chance that other symptoms never develop?
How big did they say it was again?
18 millimeter.
So that's pretty big. So I mean, it's 2.2. Is it 2.2 centimeters? Is an inch or something like that? So
Have you ever removed a tumor?
Tumor. I mean, if I knew it was cancerous, then no. I've removed lots of skin things, but if there was
any of significant weight, something fun like that.
I mean, if you count incising and draining massively infected fluid things,
I'm gonna count that. That sounds
There's
cool.
weight, volume, and odor.
Brad's gonna puke.
Yeah.
It is bad. Okay, so
New guy in the
Have you
corner.
ever thrown up, Dr. P, from how gross something was?
I haven't. No.
Oh,
I've come close.
How
I
awful
can't
do
even
you feel?
stand to pick up dog poop in my house.
You don't do that because it makes you sick?
I do, but I gag at that. I
Really?
Can't imagine.
You do you barehand it or do you
No.
use a scoop?
Yeah.
Squishes it between his toes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, 18 millimeters. I mean, that's a pretty large pituitary. So the pituitary gland is up just outside the brain, and it controls a lot of our endocrine system. So a lot of the hormones that affect the body. So there's an axis where the brain sort of tells the pituitary, hey, we need more thyroid hormone. And then it sends a signal to the thyroid gland, and that makes thyroid hormone. And there's several different pathways. But yeah, if a tumor is that big, the concern is, what is it, first of all, because they can't tell necessarily. They're usually not like a cancer in terms of something that's going to spread. But a pituitary tumor that big, if it gets big enough, it can start to press on your optic chiasm, which is basically the nerves that go to your eyes, and you can start to lose parts of your vision.
That's scary.
Yeah, and that's not good.
Whoa.
You told him you wanted sound effects, dude.
Blew Dr. P back.
It did blow me out of my chair.
You said you wanted sound effects. He found a fart.
Yeah. So there are microadenomas, and I can't honestly remember what the cutoff for that is. So very small pituitary tumors. Those can be monitored. I would think for an 18 millimeter tumor, the recommendation would be to have it out. But yeah, it's. I mean, there's there's going to be discussions with typically an endocrinologist and a surgeon in great detail just to talk about the pros and cons of it, because the problem is, if you think about it, again, this thing is right outside your brain, just below your brain, sort of straight back through your sinuses behind them.
God dang,
So
anything that close to your brain, you think
it's a tricky spot to get to.
Yeah.
I could explain how they get to it if you really want.
Oh, is it an interesting story?
I mean,
is it $4.94? Josh wants to know. Is that how you get?
On the weekends, $4.94 is good, but otherwise, I would probably take $2.80.
Okay. I got a text that said, "What is the new show title? Should be Nick and Silent Josh."
You could probably do a whole movie series on
There's
that.
an interesting story on the route to take to get.
Yeah, it's called transsphenoidal. So they basically literally have to make an incision above your teeth, below your nose, and kind of burrow back through there. The ear, nose, throat surgeon does this part.
Yeah.
And he goes all the way back through there, and if you can picture it, your nose is kind of pulled up above your eyes, and
They got to pull your nose off your face.
That's
basically,
crazy.
and then
They gotta remove your nose,
and then they get in there, and the neurosurgeon comes in and kind of uses a little tap 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 to get through to the pituitary gland. It's actually insane. It is.
It sounds insane. My nose is up above my eyes.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing I've seen in all my training.
What was that, a tuba?
Sad tuba.
If you're just tuning in, Josh is terribly sick. He can't talk. And so he's, what's the word? He's been demoted to just a sound effects guy, and he's dumping some. There you go.
Sorry, I'm giggling like a schoolboy.
No, we're having fun.
Okay.
That's what it's all about,
yes,
Dr. P.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be the recommendation. Take that out.
People are calling for a queef, Josh, if you have one. The listeners are texting in. There you go.
So the studio is awesome.
Yeah, he doesn't have the tools he normally does, but he's getting there. Another question for Dr. P. Jesus, and I think after this one we're going to have to take a little break ski. Pancakes by the lake, Jesus. This one also sounds kind of frightening. I know a few people like this. I get shortness of breath almost every time I eat. It gets scary sometimes. What's happening? Well, you have to. I mean, what are you doing? Just windmilling pancakes into your...
I mean, it does sound like they're like pancakes.
Shortness of breath when they eat.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. I mean, there could be a number of ways to look at this. They didn't say how old they were. We don't know anything, right?
No.
So the issues would be, is there a degree of like asthma going on? Sometimes people will get acid reflux induced asthma symptoms, so they're getting some spasm of the airways. I don't feel like that typically usually happens right while you eat, though. People tend to get reflux, later after you've got the food down in your stomach.
This guy's just he's waiting for a Heimlich maneuver or something.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, when you eat, blood flow is sort of diverted to your gut because there's a lot to do, and if you really have bad heart disease, so that your heart cannot tolerate any blood being diverted away from it, maybe that would give you some shortness of breath. So it could be almost like an anginal equivalent, where...
Sure.
Because honestly, when people come in with chest pain, which is a very common thing, and it raises everybody's, alarms, most of the time it's something benign.
Right.
When people have shortness of breath, especially if it's a weird story like this, I guess that's when I tend to be a little bit more worried about it, because it's just, well, there's so many things that could cause chest pain. I mean, there are a number of things that can cause shortness of breath, but in certain settings, it just sounds weird.
Yeah.
And this one does. So
right.
I would worry about something going on cardiac-wise. Those are the main things I can think of.
Maybe for today, pancakes by the lake, Jesus. Maybe for today, just slow the hell down when you're eating your meals, and if it's still bothering you tomorrow, then go see somebody.
Yeah, and I mean, noting, is it what you eat? I mean, could there be like an allergy going on? I mean, it's a long list of things, and for most things medical, if we tried to base our judgment on one sentence when somebody walked in, it's pretty tough. So I mean, we
right.
need
more
to
info.
ask questions and kind of go down different paths. But
We got to take a break, but before we do, you know what I was mentioning earlier? Everyone I know these days has shingles. Yeah. But it's not contagious.
it should not. If you didn't have chicken pox, then you can basically get chicken pox if you were exposed to somebody who had shingles and an active rash. But no, shingles itself isn't. That must mean, it's usually associated with stress, fatigue, sort of your immune system being depressed. So maybe the Wolves series really worked.
I was going to say, are you stressing people out,
man.
Nick? So many people around you are getting the shingles.
I don't know.
Oh, that is an interesting denominator there.
I got to get that shot.
Dr. P. Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, yeah, we're back. Back with Dr. P. Jesus here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Brad Ryder's here, too. Before we move on, yes, we saw that apparently Justin Jefferson has signed a deal with the Vikings. Thank you for your text message.
My boyfriend texted me that information before he said good morning.
He's a dork. He's a friggin'.
No, I think he just knows me well. I've been watching that. I'm
so many
excited.
people have been texting in. Yes, we're aware of the Justin Jefferson thing. Yay, Vikings and all that. Dr. P is here. So is Brad Ryder, who I believe is looking for a thorough physical before he leaves the building.
It's not optional.
On the
I'm going to have to walk around the other way.
Quickly.
651-989-9393. Listeners have been texting in their health concerns for Dr. P to try and answer, and there's a couple of interesting ones. How about this? Dr. P, what are the chances, what are the percentages for me to be pregnant for the first time in my late 30s? I'm not sure if I totally understand the question.
Is this a chick?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Yes, it is, Josh. It's a woman.
That changes an answer.
Yes, that does.
I would assume she means she's
for the first time
had unprotected sex in the past and didn't get pregnant, and now wondering. Well, but she said, okay,
To me,
what
it
are the chances for getting?
I'm going to take a guess. She's trying to get pregnant in her late 30s.
Yeah.
And she wants to know what are the odds that it'll be a quick process. She'll be pregnant like that as opposed to having to work at it.
Boy, that's...
Which can be exhausting.
Yeah, I think it'd be very hard to put. I mean, if you've never been pregnant, and you've tried to not be pregnant, that's one thing. If you've never been pregnant, but you've been kind of, well, let's see how it goes, and lucky that you didn't get pregnant, then, that is a predictive thing. Because obviously some women can be on the pill and they get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So they're ready to go. They're fertile. I'd say maybe the biggest predictors would be how regular have her periods been historically and currently. If they're sort of like clockwork, every 28 days, that tends to imply that your estrogen and progesterone levels are kind of right in the normal range. You're ovulating normally. Your cycle is very regular, and I'd say it doesn't definitely mean it, but it's much more likely versus somebody who has very irregular cycles. It doesn't mean
I'll
that
ask her those questions off the air.
Yeah.
I'll call her after the show. Yeah.
Right.
Cycle. Quick cycle question for you.
Yeah.
Some chocolate.
But yeah, there's nothing inherent about being in your late 30s that would make it less likely. I would think.
That's what kind of threw me, because I was going to say, I thought women had to be quite a bit older than 38.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, I think she probably just. That's what they say now, I guess, like doctors and such, because my sister-in-law, she got pregnant at 30, and they considered that whatever clinic she went to, geriatric pregnancy.
What?
At 30?
Yeah, that's what they told her, and she was like, what? She was like, are you kidding me? Yeah, she said that they must have, whatever clinic she was at, I guess, changed their guidelines on it.
The worst clinic in America? Is that where she went?
Yeah, they
Dr.
said,
Nick from The Simpsons?
I guess that's what she said they claimed.
Maybe she just looks old for her age.
Yeah, 30. What are you talking about?
It honestly, I think most people want to say advanced maternal age, which is still not a great term, but yeah, geriatric pregnancy is the most ridiculous term ever introduced by medicine, I think, for somebody in their 30s. But so there's a lot of factors.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
I thought that was kind of
But
interesting.
good luck. Hopefully it'll be nice and easy.
Yeah. You don't want to be bumping back and forth just night in, night out. It drove Cubby nuts. If he
Made
still
him
had
sick.
if he still had a voice, he'd tell you that was miserable.
It doesn't sound like it would be, but it becomes that way.
Yeah, you're just pumping back and forth like it's prom night, night in, night out. Terrible. All right, I'm taking my family to Disney World this summer, says a listener. Isn't that something? Disney World. What do you think of that, Dr. P? I'm kidding.
It's
gonna be hot
for you.
My wife and I get terrible motion sickness on rides.
Oh, okay.
Besides dumping some of that Dramamine, is there anything else you recommend? Help us if you can, so we don't, as they put it in the text message, blow chunks on the rest of the riders behind us or below us.
Yeah. This would definitely be one to go talk to your doctor. There's a prescription medicine called scopolamine that comes in a little patch that you basically put it on your skin behind your ear, and it is pretty darn effective.
That's where I put my Chanel before I go out.
And you can put a patch on, and I believe it stays on there for 3 days even. So it's not an uncommon thing to use for people going on cruises, because obviously the last thing you want to do is be on a cruise and be sick the whole time.
Right.
But it could be effective for rides like that. Basically, any medicine that helps prevent or treat nausea has the potential to be a little sedating, just because that's the nature of the medicine. So it's usually good to get it, and I've usually recommended people try it before they go on their trip, so that they don't put it on the first time and then sleep through their vacation, just to, or at least get a sense of how they'll feel. But that's the most effective thing that I have seen over the years. So scopolamine patch.
Okay.
Have you seen those like wristband things that you can put on your wrist? Do those work?
I've seen them work and I've seen them not work. Wobble.
Yeah, same here.
Depends on the person, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm not. Is the theory of that? Is it something to do with like acupuncture?
Yeah, it's like hitting some
pressure points.
Pressure points.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's certainly not in the it's not in the realm of Western allopathic medicine. I mean, you could certainly try it, but
I've seen guys put them on and say, wow, that made all the difference in the world. I've seen other guys put on that wristband and they're still just spraying vomit over the side of the boat.
I mean, I guess it's worth trying. The problem is you gotta get one and then do something that, I guess, go to Valley Fair before you go to Disney World and test it out.
Yeah. I guess I like this couple's courage that they still want to go on the rides despite having the guy says they don't have good luck with that situation.
And usually there's certain types of rides that are going to cause problems. It's spinning motion, especially spinning on an axis where you're sitting still but you're just spinning around, as opposed to some people have it when they go on those big carousel things where then you're
tilt-a-whirl. Tilt-a-whirl is the
tilt-a-whirl.
Well, that's just insane. The tilt-a-whirl.
So I think roller coasters usually are okay for most people. But yeah, things where it's repetitive motion that's violent. Well, not really violent, but just that's
aggressive.
Really making the inner ear sway different ways or forced to stay in a certain position. But I mean, truly, it might not be a bad idea to go to Valley Fair and do a test experience. Like, I can tolerate that kind of ride. That kind of ride's not so good. I mean, I would probably do it. Again, you don't
bring an empty bucket with you.
You don't want to go to Disney World and learn, oh man, I shouldn't have gone on that.
I almost killed a gal on the Tilt-a-Whirl about 15 years ago.
No.
I mean, seriously, I almost killed her. You know that heavy-ass bar that you pull forward and put on your lap?
Yep.
I pulled that forward at the exact same time she leaned forward to put her purse on the floor of the. I mean, I rang her skull I don't think she could see the rest of the afternoon, and her reading skills were garbage beyond that. I mean, I thought I had killed her on that. Of all the ways you think you might die on the Tilt-a-Whirl, of course you might think, oh, I'll be thrown out the side and I'll end up in a tree. I just bashed her brains in with the.
Did she taste anything metallic?
Yeah. Chemical taste in her mouth.
Probably.
One more question, and it's totally sarcastic, so it's perfect for the end of the show. Dr. P, I'm having severe hip pain. Should I go to a chiropractor or go see a real doctor? That's fun. All right. Dr. PG's, as always, thank you very much for coming in with your expert opinion.
Nice to be here. Nice to see Brad Ryder in person.
Brad, thanks for hanging out with us all day.
Yeah, no problem.
We like having Brad around.
Come in again this summer.
And, we hope so. And Josh, not feeling well today. He hasn't been able to speak for about the last hour or so.
Can I have one more sound effect?
One more sound effect?
Nice. Thank you.
End on a high note.
That is good.
That's for Justin Jefferson. That's how excited I
am. Nice knowing you, Josh. It's not looking good for Cubby. We hope he's back tomorrow.
The Bigger Pockets portfolio of podcasts are worthy of your investment.
Short-term rental, once you purchase the property, you're now in hospitality.
New episodes available every day.
I often tell people the easier it is to find a deal, the less likely that deal is actually a deal.
Bigger Pockets, On the Market, Rookie Real Estate, or Money Podcast.
There's one sad-looking house that's still for sale with very bad pictures in a suboptimal location.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast on YouTube or wherever you listen.